All right, and it looks like we are live. Hello, everyone. So we are just getting started, and we have a couple stragglers that are coming in, but we are supposed to have a couple more guests here. Welcome to the Crypto Roundtable. This is episode number 19 being hosted on my channel. I'm here with a couple awesome people. Live. Hello, and I actually got my audio echoing there. Sorry in the background. So we are here with both RJ as well as Generation Crypto. And Generation Crypto popped out there for just a second. Let's go ahead and bring him back up. Whoa! Never saw you before in the stream. What's up, Generation Crypto?
How's it going?
Going good. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
RJ, what about you? You doing good? You gelling?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm looking at the StreamYard, and it is showing that StreamYard comments isn't coming on, but I do see you on YouTube. I do have StreamYard and YouTube up.
Okay. Yeah, I got it up on my channel.
Right.
It should be public now for everyone by doing this. I basically, what I decided to do this time is I just screen captured over from the StreamYard window, and then I have it inside the OBS because I had it already scheduled ahead of time, and I forgot, anyways. So it's up. People can see it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Let me just go and send out this tweet right now. There we go. If you guys use Twitter, I'm at CryptoAtlasYT. A retweet would be greatly appreciated. Hopefully we can get some more people to come in here. So this is going to be a little bit of a different style since I'm the host this time. I'm taking this more of an approach like we are doing this as a news broadcast. So it's not going to be the same exact level of professionalism as if you saw one of these major news broadcasts. But I digress. We're going to do something similar. And I think that also gives us a little bit more time as some of the other crypto YouTubers do end up coming into the roundtable. I do have a game that I have created. I know Tim has his own game, but I have created my own version, my own variant, I should say. And I got to say, it's a pretty sweet idea. I think you guys are going to enjoy, so don't go anywhere until we have that. So the way that we're going to run this down is for now, until the other people come in, I have articles already established. I'll go ahead and start with the first one here. And what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go and read through this, and then I want to get the thoughts and opinions of everyone on the panel. So this is some of the latest stuff that's going on in the world of crypto, and it's so good to have all of you guys here. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up like button if you have not yet already done so. That would be greatly appreciated. It definitely helps out with everything for the discovery guys, so thank you so much for that. Okay, so here we go. The first article is Crypto Exchange Uniswap hit with a class action lawsuit alleging wrongdoing. Developers can embed a Uniswap trading window in any app with one line of code, while a class action lawsuit alleges the exchange promotes unregistered securities. So the shorthand version of this, class action plaintiff alleges Uniswap has flouted securities laws. We envision a world in which everyone is able to access fair, open, and transparent markets, Uniswap said in a blog post announcing the swap widget. A class action lawsuit against developers and venture capital backers of decentralized digital assets exchange Uniswap alleges because the protocol allows users to freely list and trade tokens, its creators are responsible for quote-unquote rampant fraud on the exchange, and it needs to register as a broker-dealer with the Financial Industry Regulator Authority, or FINRA. The plaintiff in the case is Nessa Risley, a North Carolina resident who claims to have purchased about $8,545 worth of obscure ERC-20 tokens via Uniswap in May and June of 2021. The suit was filed in the Southern District of New York. Uniswap has offered and sold unregistered securities, the lawsuit claims, and consequently, the people who developed and funded the software that facilitates the exchange owe restitution to anyone who has ever used Uniswap. The suit names Hayden Adams, Uniswap's creator, as the defendant, along with Universal Navigation Incorporated, formerly known as Uniswap LLC, the company he founded. Other defendants are venture capital firms Paradigm, Andreessen Horowitz, and Union Square Ventures. None of the defendants returned requests for comment. The venture firms are chiefly involved due to their holding equity stakes in Adams' company and their alleged participation in Uniswap pools as liquidity providers, who earns fees from trades executed on the platform. Universal Navigation issued $1.8 million of equity shares in the company to Adams and Paradigm in 2019, according to an SEC filing. The company later raised $11 million from equity sales, options, and warrants to the other venture capitalist firms. The suit repeatedly conflates the front-end user interface at uniswap.org with the Uniswap protocol, which is a set of immutable smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain. The latter, which neither Atoms nor Paradigm nor anyone else has any control over, as they are not upgradable, is what allows the unfettered creation of liquidity pools for Ethereum-based tokens. Key to the suit's claims is the assertion that Uniswap's terms of service misrepresent the fact of its business when it states, quote, "We do not facilitate the execution or settlement of your trades, which occur entirely on the public distributed Ethereum blockchain." Uniswap now averages approximately $1.79 billion per day in trading volume, according to Dune Analytics. Swap Widget provides new ways to access Uniswap. Anyone can build a Uniswap user interface, considering its software is open source. There are those maintained by wallet providers like Argent, Rainbow, and InstantApp, as well as decentralized exchange aggregators such as 1inch, Paraswap, and Zerion. But in fact, none is required. With the right technical know-how, anyone running in an Ethereum node can directly interact with Uniswap smart contracts. To make it easier for developers to integrate the decentralized exchange, also known as a DEX, into their own apps and websites, Uniswap.org unveiled a, quote, swap widget in a blog post last week that lets users seamlessly swap tokens, join a community or DAO, wrap assets, and more without leaving their apps. For example, OpenSea's use of the widget allows NFT collectors to seamlessly swap tokens for wrapped Ethereum, which is needed to purchase non-fungible tokens or NFTs. The widget supports all chains where the Uniswap protocol is available, including Arbitrum, Optimism, and Polygon. We envision a world in which everyone is able to access fair, open, and transparent markets. The Swap widget brings this vision closer to reality by allowing developers to easily embed Uniswap swapping functionality, the blog post states. So that is the end of that article. This is the first of several articles that we're going to be going over with the panel that we have here. I will also give my thoughts on this. But I would say let's go ahead and start off with RJ. The whole idea that you have a class action lawsuit with Uniswap. Do you think that that is going to open the doors to more lawsuits with other similar formats? So we also have Pancake Swap. We've also got, Trader Joe, XYZ. Are we going to see this sort of cascade into all of these other platforms because of these different projects that are going out there and doing these, rug pulls and various things? And just kind of in general, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's interesting. I'll definitely lean on Generation for this. He's really knowledgeable about stuff like this. But I'm reading the actual article that you were just reading. And the first paragraph says, a class action lawsuit against developers and venture capital backers of a decentralized, so a DEX, Uniswap alleges because the protocol allows users to freely list and trade tokens. Its creators are responsible for rampant fraud on the exchange. So, and it says it needs to register as a broker dealer with FINRA, pretty much. And this is where I'm going to lean on Generation a little bit on this. But as of right now, from my understanding, there is no regulations on decentralized exchanges, on Dexes, or is that DeFi only? You know what I'm saying? So, Generation, what are you thinking on that Dex?
Yeah, so when it comes to regulations, it's going to vary country to country, state to state, region to region, province to province, depending on where you live. So it's complex to speak in general terms. So I'll speak for the United States when I'm talking about this because it sounds like this is an American lawsuit. When it comes to things that are involved with DeFi, there's actually a split right now in the federal government. So the IRS looks at anything to do with cryptocurrency as property and it's taxed as such. And then the SEC is starting to view a lot of different cryptocurrencies, excluding Bitcoin, but different projects that have been around with ICO offerings, most, if not all of DeFi, and even a large portion of these larger cryptocurrencies and coins that are in the top 100, they view all of those as securities. So they're even treated by the federal government differently depending on which branch of the government we're talking about and who you talk to when it comes to how those play out. actively right now, what actually dictates the law when it comes to cryptocurrencies is going to be through the laws that are passed through Congress. And then the IRS and the SEC would then regulate those laws that have been put into place by that governing body. Right now, we do not have strict laws set in stone right now or that are in place that regulate or classify cryptocurrencies or classify types of cryptocurrencies in any way legally. So it's a large, ambiguous kind of system that we're trying to deal with right now because, like all things, whether you're talking about the development of the internet or things later on, the government always has to play catch up with technology as it becomes widely available to the general audience. After that, that's when you get litigation. That's when you get things in the court systems. And then that's when government bodies are forced to make rulings and eventually laws and legislation that changes how we interact with things legally. So when it comes to as far as suing, the creators of a DEX for the actions of particular tokens, I view this the same way that you would be suing a beer company for someone driving drunk, or you would be suing a gun manufacturer because someone decided to inappropriately use their firearm in a mass shooting. So you've got someone who provides a service or an item, and then people are misappropriating that service or item for malicious intent. So obviously, beer companies don't support drunk driving. Obviously, your gun manufacturers aren't creating firearms so that people could go out and mass shoot in schools or in public locations. So suing them is kind of it's hard to do, and usually doesn't end up going anywhere. There's people who want to make lawsuits like that viable, but right now in the American legal system, it's just not viable. So a lawsuit like this, especially in decentralized finance, and especially in an area that's very, very unregulated, this is basically a lawsuit that's going to go absolutely nowhere in the court system, in my opinion. Of course, I'm not a legal expert, but that's just my research that I've done on the topic.
Yeah, and that's what I figured, right? But obviously, you were able to enunciate that on a much more intelligent manner. But from my understanding, because it is decentralized, and not only is it Dex, this is DeFi, you explained it very, very well. So thank you. Atlas, what do you think about what Generation just very thoroughly said?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on this, Generation. I mean, just the reality is that when you look at all these new projects that are coming on board, where are their creators located? Are they all based in the United States? Probably not. And just trying to go after independent projects, and you're doing it through a decentralized manner, it becomes very messy. It becomes very complicated really quickly. And everything that's kind of being stated here, going through the article, there's more definitive creators that are associated with Uniswap that could actually be targeted for this. But when we see a lot of projects where the developers are anonymous, then what do you do in those circumstances, right? You can't really shut those things down. So then it sort of encourages, on the other hand, or I mean, let me know what you guys think on this, but does it encourage for these different developers that have already been scared about coming forward and identifying who they are to now make a new project and just reaffirm, hey, yeah, I'm not going to dox myself. Why should we build out something that's so valuable to the crypto space as a whole, only for somebody to have a bad experience to then come and sue us and potentially jeopardize the entire project and how it's going to be handling all of its business aspects, right? That is something that I can see as a concern. Nobody wants to get sued, and if you do, you're kind of crazy. Maybe there's some other alternative motive with that. So I guess I want to kind of go back with this just a little bit, RJ, and I want to ask you, with how new we are into the crypto space, and we see regulations starting to come up, new laws, we're seeing centralized aspects becoming prominent in various ways, but then you also have a decentralized sort of equivalent to that. In the next 10 years, do you think as everything gets adopted and moved forward that we're going to see a much stronger push towards centralization across the board? Or do you think that there will still be plenty of avenues where the decentralized side can not only be created, provide value, but it can also thrive? It can compete and have that space of engagement like the centralized side?
And that's tough because we already know that crypto moves very fast, very fast. And I was just talking to a friend of mine, and that right now we are still, it's safe to say we're still in the wild, wild west. Regulations are in the horizon as governments see the power of crypto. They're getting through sanctions and stuff like this. So it is difficult to forecast where we're headed, whether we're headed more towards a centralized exchange or, opening it up for decentralized to have more power. I see us getting on a US side, right, in the States, more regulation for sure. And it's going to be tough because as of right now, it is the Wild West. So everyone's kind of just doing everything that they want. People, that article that you just posted, there's a lot of fraudulent activity, a lot of rug pulls being hosted. And as of right now, that's what regulations can help in a way. I know a lot of people say regulations, the word regulations, and there's a negative connotation to it. But that's what regulations can help in terms of like fraudulent activity. But we teeter towards dangerous waters where we're so pro DeFi, pro Dexes, and all of a sudden now the government has their hand in the cookie where it's kind of like, well, now there's a bunch of regulations. It's tough to say, to be honest.
All right, so let's go ahead and roll into the next topic here, which is going to be about Robinhood acquiring British crypto firm Ziglu to push expansion plans. And Generation Crypto, I'm going to go ahead and let you take the floor on this, and then we'll go ahead and discuss as a panel.
Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and read it off my phone just because my screen is 11 inches and
sure,
I might be able to read it from where I'm sitting.
That's why I provided the link.
Perfect. Okay, so Robinhood, a major cryptocurrency-friendly stock trading app, is pushing global expansion by acquiring the United Kingdom-based crypto asset firm Ziglu. Robinhood officially announced Tuesday that it has signed a deal to acquire Ziglu, subject to regulatory approvals and other closing conditions. The firm declined to disclose the size of the deal to Cointelegraph. Subject to regulation approval is the near term, nothing will change for current Ziglu customers. Longer term, will integrate Ziglu more fully into Robinhood, bring the Robinhood brand overseas, and work to expand operations beyond the UK into Europe, the spokesperson for Robinhood said. The acquisition aims to help Robinhood accelerate its international expansion and finally enter markets both in the United Kingdom and across Europe. The move comes in line with Robinhood's renewed expansion efforts this year after the platform previously aborted its ambitious expansion plans in countries like the United Kingdom back in 2020. And then there's a tweet there that says, "This aged well," and it is a tweet from Robinhood retweeting or quote tweeting Ziglu saying, "We are sorry to hear that Robinhood app has postponed their UK launch indefinitely. If you were on the waitlist for Robinhood app UK and were interested in their crypto capabilities, try Ziglu now." And then below that it says, as Cointelegraph reported, Ziglu was founded by former Barclays technology head and Starling Bank co-founder Mark Hipperson in 2020. The firm provided a digital platform that enables customers to buy and sell 11 cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ether, and others. The Ziglu platform also allows users to yield the rewards and pay for services using a debit card. Robinhood is a major online brokerage known for offering a commission-free investing and trading platform in the United States. Robinhood became widely known in the crypto community after the company rolled out trading for major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum in 2018.
All right, so let's go ahead and start with this. First off, I've never heard of Ziglu. Have either one of you guys ever heard of this platform until now?
I have not.
No,
now,
definitely not.
Obviously, you guys have both heard of Robinhood. I think most
course.
people inside the stream have also heard of Robinhood. And so this whole idea that they're trying to kind of push forward and they're showing support, it mentioned here 11 cryptocurrency projects. Doesn't really sound like a lot when you say it out loud. And as far as for their sort of history, it's been a mixed bag, especially if we go back and look at the stocks and what happened back in early of 2020, which I'm sure many people are familiar with. For those of you guys that are not, there was trade halting, meaning that you could not buy these stocks during that set period in time. This is what Robinhood had done. They got the, technically they received this action to be taken place from a third party, but they ended up executing on it. So you couldn't actually buy these specific stocks, but guess what? You could sell them. So when you can only sell and you can't buy, what do you think happens to the price? I'll tell you this much, it doesn't go up. So that caused a huge controversy. And since then, there's still a big proponent group in the cryptocurrency space, which I commonly see over on Twitter especially, where there's a drive to try and get Shiba Inu listed on Robinhood. In fact, if you look over for the whole change.org, there's been a huge rally trying to drive that forward. And then you also have to take into account that Robinhood having their own crypto wallet is something that's been in the talks now for, I believe, several years. And they still have not delivered on their own digital crypto wallet. So an acquisition like this, with those things in mind, I'll go ahead and start with you, RJ. What are your kind of initial thoughts? Do you think that this is a good move for Robinhood, or do you think that there's not a much value that's really there?
I think it's. Oh, I'm muted. Okay. I think it's natural for companies to try and acquire other companies as they grow. Now, you guys can fact check me, Alice. Was Robinhood did Robinhood unlock their crypto wallet? Because I'm looking at an article here on April 8th. It said Robinhood unlocks its crypto wallet, but I don't know if they opened it to like the public.
It's just for the first 2 million users that signed up.
Okay.
Beta.
Okay. So
is that beta out right now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry for my sort of misleading information. The last thing that I had heard about it was that there's kind of like a sign-up list, and that was it. I didn't hear about any actual delivery. So, okay, they've got that beta you said, but it's exclusive for 2 million. 2 million is still quite a few people. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. So, in regards to your question, is it smart for Robinhood? First and foremost, you asked that question. Did we even have we even heard of Ziggloo? I have not heard of Ziggloo, but we've heard a whole bunch of not only Dexes but other things come out of the woodwork every single day when certain cryptos partner with certain Dexes or sexes, and so it's not. I'm not shocked that they're trying to acquire a company like that. Like I said, it's natural for other companies to try and just acquire other companies like that. So, if they're trying to get their user base over there, maybe it's their small step to get to expand over there in Europe. Maybe that's my 2 cents on that.
Okay. And Crypto Diamond, I see that you typed in the chat that Shiba Inu is on Robinhood. I haven't seen any confirmation on that. I mean, technically, I just got the last thing wrong about the wallet, so it wouldn't really surprise me if
I have the app. I
news
can
on
look
that.
it up and see.
Yeah, look it up. But as far as I know,
Okay.
that's still not on the table.
Are
I'll
you one
see
of the
Shiba...
2 million generation?
Absolutely not. No. No. Let me just confirm really quick.
So let me also ask you this. So while he's looking
yes,
at
Shiba Inu is indeed on Robinhood. You can buy it right now.
Okay, well, I guess I was wrong on that one too. I'm not doing very good on this topic, guys. But that's why we have these discussions, and I'll admit when I'm wrong, and I make a public statement. I'm sorry about that, everyone. But again, if we go back and we look at just the track record history of Robinhood for last year, that left a very bitter taste in a lot of people's mouths because of the actions that they took in the stock market side. So for you guys, I'll go ahead and turn this over to you, Generation Crypto, this time. Do you feel comfortable in purchasing crypto, I'm not talking about stocks now, I'm talking about crypto, through Robinhood, or do you feel like there'd be some sort of back-end shenanigans and it's not a good place for you to do your trading there personally?
I personally do not trust anything that Robinhood does. That's just the truth. They've had a lot of issues and scandals over the past. I mean, the most fresh to people is the things that happened with GME and them stopping the trades, all that on the trading side. But they've had plenty of issues on the crypto side. The way that their whole business model is structured is nefarious, with the way that they do the trades and how they profit off of them, because they don't charge any fees. So if anyone wants to go research how that actually works, it's pretty sketchy in my opinion. But you should go do your own research on how that works. I'm not going to go through all the logistics on that today on this podcast, especially because that's stock related more so than it is crypto related. But yeah, I don't trust anything that they do. They've been promising for wallets for way long, like forever, and they just now are releasing them and getting those out now. And they've had a lot of issues with just ethics in the past, and so I wouldn't trust them with anything. I am against any form of decentralization in the crypto space. I know that a lot of people favor that. They want more regulation. They want more of that stuff. And I'm actually more reluctant to that stuff, because usually when that stuff moves in, there's a lot of freedoms that get restricted because of it. And I don't like to see that, especially in a space where we have, yes, there's, there's two sides to that. More freedom equals less security. But in my opinion, as long as you have the right education, you're going to be just fine, versus lots of centralization, lots of regulation that then restricts you from being able to do the things that you want to do, which is the problem that we have with the fiat system now. So kind of what you guys talked about earlier when you asked RJ about centralization, it's kind of the natural order of things. I mean, gravity pulls things together. It causes centralization. Finance in fiat now naturally gravitates into one location over time. It's the same with power. Authority and power eventually gravitates towards one location over time. It's just a natural progression of things to kind of centralize over time. And so I would not like to see that happen in the DeFi space. And it's going to take active action by those members in the DeFi space, like us as influencers, and the regulators and developers to make sure that doesn't happen.
Okay. And so just to clarify, I think you may have, if I heard you correctly, I think you said you favor decentralization, not centralization, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Just to fully confirm, because everything else that you said, I was like, that sounds a lot like you're favoring decentralization, not the centralization. Yeah, so we have another article to come up next, which is in regards to Bitcoin institutional buying. Could be a big narrative again, as 30,000 Bitcoin leaves Coinbase. RJ, I just sent you over a link. I don't know if you have that up on standby. Would you be able to read this one, or would you like me to read this?
Yeah, let me see. 1 sec.
And once again, thank you so much, everybody, for popping in the live stream. I hope you guys are having an absolutely awesome night. It's so good to have all of you here. If you can, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up like button. And we have an awesome panel. I do have links to their channels in the description. You can go show your support there. Everyone kind of handles their channel in different ways, but we come together on these weekly podcasts. We did take last week off, and we'll have more information we can share with you guys later on about what channel is going to be hosting next week. We'll be posting that over on Twitter, so you guys can keep an eye on our social medias. If you want to just keep an eye on mine, I'll go ahead and let everyone know once we have that established. My Twitter handle is @CryptoAtlasYT.
Cool.
All right, RJ, are you ready?
Yeah, Bitcoin institutional buying could be big narrative again as 30,000 Bitcoin leaves Coinbase. Regardless of Bitcoin price action, institutional players are putting their money where their mouth is this month. Bitcoin may be heading under 40,000, but fresh data shows that demand for major investors is anything but decreasing. For Ki Young-ju, CEO of an on-chain analytics platform in CryptoQuant, institutional Bitcoin buying might be the big narrative in the crypto space once more. Coinbase Pro shifts serious amounts of Bitcoin. Key highlighted figures from Coinbase Pro, the professional trading offshoot of United States exchange Coinbase, that confirms that large tranches of BTC continue to leave its books. Those tranches totaled 30,000 BTC in a single day this week, and the event is not an isolated one, with March seeing similar behavior. Institutional buys might be the big narrative again. Oh, that's a quote. I'm sorry. Last month's executive order from United States President Joe Biden designed to investigate various aspects of the cryptocurrency ecosystem has seemingly not deterred large volume investors looking for exposure. The trend is apparent across exchanges, as Cointelegraph reported this week, and April is currently attempting to match March in terms of overall outflows. The reduction in supply contrasts with a troubling macro picture that continues to pressure risk assets, including crypto. Bitcoin's correlation to equities themselves at the mercy of central bank policy needs to break in order for conditions to improve. But analysts say that the process will be anything but smooth when it happens. Correlation breaks eventually for multiple reasons, commentator Dylan LeClaire explained earlier this week. Terra keeps up buying pressure. Oh yeah, I heard about Terra. Meanwhile, the major buyer story of the year, that of blockchain protocol Terra, continues. The Luna Foundation Guard, or LFG, the nonprofit organization attached to Terra, has added 2,633 BTC for a total of 105 million to its reserves over the past 48 hours. According to the data monitoring resources BitInfo charts, its wallet is now the 18th largest Bitcoin wallet, containing more BTC than Tesla's corporate treasury allocation. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's it. So welcome to the live stream, the legendary Dark Moon Tim.
Look at
What's going on?
Up.
I haven't had time to test anything yet, so I have no idea if it works. Does it work? Can you hear me?
Video and audio come in?
We can hear you. It's a little bit echoey, but we can hear you.
Yeah, I didn't get rugs in down here yet, so it's my basement. My wife sent me to the basement.
Oh,
so
is that where you play video games?
No, actually, it's just a dungeon down here. It's frigid. That's why I have this hoodie on. She said I can't use her. That office that I have been in for a while doing these live shows on, that's actually her office. So she said I have to get out of there.
Oh,
we'll have to get you a full-blown studio built in there then.
Yeah, it's coming together. I'm trying. I'm sorry I'm so echoey. I'll have to work on the acoustics down here.
That's okay. I mean, it's all a step-by-step process. I'm just happy that you're able to pop in. So I don't know if you caught much of the article that we just went over, but the rough gist of this is that we're seeing a lot of institutional investors taking their Bitcoin off of Coinbase. And so what does that really sort of suggest? A lot of people would look at it and suggest that people are hodling. When you have a flow going into the centralized exchanges, that's where people are having it on standby, ready to converting it to fiat, right? So you're ready to sell. So if everyone's pulling it off, where is that money really going? Is it going to other exchanges? Is it being held? And with everything that's going on in the world right now, I guess the big question to kind of touch on with this is, what are we likely to see next from this? So Generation Crypto, I'm going to go ahead and start with you on this. Seeing a large amount of Bitcoin coming off of Coinbase and everything else that you kind of know that's going on with the market, what kind of an impression does that leave for you?
So there's a lot of things that have happened recently, right? There's been a large distrust with centralized exchanges that happened on in Canada with the whole situation over there. We've seen other issues where people want to keep their money in a place where it can't be seized by governments. That's been a big push when crypto was first created, and it's been kind of a reminder recently with recent world events that have been going on. So we also know that Russia, of all places, is looking to adopt Bitcoin. And you're probably not going to be able to use Bitcoin if you live in Russia, if you're on an American centralized exchange. Whereas if you have your own wallet, that is something you can definitely use. Obviously, if you're a major corporation, you don't want your money sitting with another institution when you can keep that closely guarded in your own wallets and your own reserves, where you have full control of those assets and where they go. So I think there's a lot of things at play here. I don't think there's a simple answer to any of it. I think that it's a good thing, in my opinion, to see less money on centralized exchanges and more money on the actual blockchain and not off-chain, for multiple reasons, whether it's the ability that people have to have control of their own assets. Also, like you mentioned, that's obviously less people selling for fiat, which should help with pricing.
And Tim, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think it's good or it's bad that we're seeing such a large amount of Bitcoin leaving the centralized exchanges right now?
Yeah, I think this is reminding me of the time when everyone started hoarding gold. Remember, before the recession, everyone's like, "Give me all your gold," and they were just taking it, and they popped up all these gold shops everywhere. And it seems like they're getting them off the exchanges, and now they're putting them into probably cold storage somewhere. I mean, obviously they're still on the blockchain, but not going to be accessible during that way. And I think that's probably one of the reasons is maybe people are not thinking that this war is going to get any better. And that this is their way to have monetary value in the future. Who knows? I really didn't look too much into the whole Bitcoin thing. I've been really busy for the last 2 weeks. But when you were telling me that information, I was like, oh boy, that reminds me of everyone hoarding gold and silver and stuff during the times when war is getting big. So yeah, that's just my opinion on all that.
And what about for you, Moonboy? I know you just popped in. First off, welcome. It's so great to see you. I'm glad you can make it for the roundtable here. How are you doing? Are you doing well?
Yes, I'm doing good. My daughter's actually still awake. Hold on, can I make a quick cameo? Oh,
hi. She's cute.
Sorry if you hear a little bit of noise. She wants to sit on my lap. No, you can't sit on my lap right now. But yeah, she's settling down for the night. So yeah, everything is good. Having a good time. Had a very good Easter. Tim, something look different with you, man. You're do you have a tan or something? Like the environment's different. Something has changed. I think you look darker. Is that it?
I got booted to my basement, brother.
That's what happened. Okay. You got booted, yeah.
He's digivolved from Dark Moon Tim to Darker Moon Tim.
Yeah, but look at this. Look at this. You see that back there? That is a 2-tap cake system.
Oh, you got a lamp like RJ. Look at you. RJ did it first, though.
Yeah,
people are gonna say you copied RJ.
Yeah, RJ's is pretty. I actually typed that in the chat there. I like RJ's lamp, but that's mine. In my eyes, it looks white, but I think I set it to blue because you could set it to a bunch of funky colors.
Can you lower the brightness on it?
Only for the one color. Why is it too bright?
No, yeah. So mine goes that high, like how yours is, and it concentrates all over the place. So what I do is I lower it so you can kind of see the outline of the lamp itself. Pro tip.
Hey, I'm lucky I even got this on. My whole system is just built in a matter of seconds. So because my main computer down here doesn't actually even have a webcam on it. It's just a Mac Mini, so there's no mic on it, there's no camera on it. So I have a laptop propped up on a stool and a box of cat litter that's pointing at my face right now. So
Wait, so you have that desktop, but you don't have a webcam to even use it right now.
No, this is just a giant 4K or 5K television.
Just for like a nice background. You don't even use it, just there.
I can't use that for this. The computer that's connected to this doesn't work with this live stream thing.
It's a cardboard cutout, okay?
It's
Cardboard
not
cutout,
real.
there we go, yeah.
It's a mirage.
Hey, sorry, what was the question?
So I've got a question I'll be asking you. First off, DJ Go SF, I appreciate the donation. We'll be going over different questions you guys have in the community here towards the end of the podcast. So if anyone does have any questions, I'll be going through and looking through chat, pulling those up. So feel free, if you want to send in a super chat, it's easier for me to definitely find those questions. It's not required, but it's definitely appreciated. So my question for you, Moonboy, is what we're seeing right now. The article was just talking about there's a huge influx of Bitcoin that's leaving Coinbase right now. And this is a lot of big institutional investors that are doing this. So my question for you is that are we starting to see more confirmation right now that Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation? That it could be providing value in a lot of major institutional eyes to that of gold? Or do you think that gold is still king and we still got a long way to go before people make that shift over to something digital?
So what we do know about store of values like gold and Bitcoin is that it has value because we give it value. We've decided that it's worth this price and we're going to keep our money there. But nothing is holding people's money. It's just a mental choice. Now, Bitcoin coming off exchanges is great. It's bullish. People are most likely taking it off the exchanges, putting it into their cold wallet for store of value purposes, right? They're taking it off, they're locking it up, and they're doing that repeatedly. I actually saw some stats today, and it's actually very cool that this is a topic. I don't know the number, but for the entire history of Coinbase, since inception to this point, I think it was equated to something about 400,000 Bitcoin has been removed since inception till now. So it's almost 500,000 Bitcoin off of just one exchange since the inception of Coinbase. And I saw that somewhere, some Twitter post to an article that I saw early on. But I think it's a great thing when it comes to a potential beginning of another run. We've been bearish for the better part of the last 6 months, and there's still money to be made in other tokens. But when it comes to what do we need to see in the market for Bitcoin to move, thus making all the altcoins move, but we need to see some kind of interest in Bitcoin, adoption of Bitcoin. Even if you go to the Google Trends for Bitcoin and crypto overall has been down. So perhaps with this influx of wanting to take Bitcoin off exchanges, we're going to see an influx of interest, which could lead to that returning of the hype, the feeling of new money coming in. So it's a great thing. It's awesome. Do I hold Bitcoin? I know it's not a question, but no, I don't hold any Bitcoin because I think Bitcoin is a rich man's coin. And, quite frankly, I could put my money in Cardano. I'm a big fan of Zilliqa, big fan of VeChain. I know generations are fan of VeChain as well. These guys just playing with each other backwards. Look at this.
I know. I'm like, I need to go find a lamp that I can start playing with.
Like Tim, you actually should you should put your lamp red and RJ should do green. That's to kind of set the markets because they're so volatile. But you guys are kind of playing back and forth.
I can't see colors. That looks red to me. These glasses block out.
It's a regular lamp.
Regular lamp. Yes, we love to see it. Yes, Bitcoin has a store of value. People are putting their money there. Coming off exchanges is great. It's bullish.
RJ, my question for you is that when we look at the end of that article, it was doing that comparison because of the Terra and its movement with its Bitcoin, right? $105.3 million that was added. And that is now making it the 18th largest wallet containing more Bitcoin than Tesla's corporation and how much they have for their treasury allocation. When you think of Tesla, obviously you think of Elon Musk. And we have seen recently Elon Musk push very hard in the public space, at least, to make it sound like he's going to do everything he can to try and acquire Twitter. So for someone like him that's making jokes of saying, oh, I'm going to change the name if I get it from Twitter to Titter, and potentially the strong push with Dogecoin. So do you think that having these large institutions, especially one like Tesla, that own so much Bitcoin that it's in a safe spot? Or do you feel uneasy because of people like Elon Musk that do sometimes these brash decisions, and we could just see a massive dump on the market out of nowhere? And it's not like it's going to really affect them so much. It will to a degree, but they still can take profits depending on where their entry is. But what do you just kind of think of specific institutions? I guess we'll most notably say the Tesla Corporation here, just owning so much Bitcoin. Does it worry you at all? Do you think that they're going to mitigate themselves and just kind of sell off little bits if they need to? What are your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, I'm not honestly too worried, to be honest. And in value investing terminology, if Tesla were to dump its Bitcoin shares, that's what would be called an event that would put Bitcoin on sale for more people to really get in on. You can't ever time the market. You can't judge what other corporations and large people holding Bitcoin can do. I mean, some will just dump, some will take profits, some will dollar cost average. You can never ever control that. So all you have to do is you play the cards that you're dealt with. And like I said, in value investing, what you do is you pick a company like that you really like. Let's just say in this particular case, it's Bitcoin, and you really believe in the long-term value of Bitcoin. Price will eventually continue to go up on Bitcoin, right? There's only 20 million out there, 21 million out there. It's typical supply and demand. And when price continues to go up, it'll become really, really unattainable to other people. Yes, you can buy fractions of Bitcoin, but if let's say Tesla holds what number are they? They're number 19 or 20, because this Terra is number 18, right? So
Yeah.
they're higher in terms of how much they're holding over Tesla. So let's say Tesla is like, you know what? It's bad for the environment again, and they decide to crash the Bitcoin pricing. In value investing, that's what is an event that would cause pricing to go down, allowing other people to really go in on a sale price, right? So I'm not too worried. I'm never, I like to think of myself as pretty level-headed when it comes to investing. So if companies like that tend to sell off and crash markets, then it's just a buying opportunity for all of us, right?
So Moonboy, inside of our private chat, I just sent you over the article for the next one that we're reading. And Tim, Moonboy, I know you guys kind of came in late. So what I'm doing for my style here is kind of like a news broadcast. We've been going through and taking turns, and someone will read the article of what's going on in crypto for that specific topic. And then we open up, I kind of address a different question for everyone based on that news information that we just heard. So if you can, try and get that pulled up ready on the side. In the meantime, now that we have everyone here, I'll go ahead and use this as a segue to a separate segment, and then we'll come back to this. So I want to touch on with what's going on with nodes. And I'll actually pull up this one just to sort of start everything off. So, Moonboy, you good?
Yeah. I just want to add. Hey, RJ, what color is this? Huh?
It's green.
It's green. What is green?
Money?
The Grinch. The Grinch.
Trees?
Come on, bro. The Grinch. The Grinch is green. We love the Grinch. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. We love the Grinch. The Grinch is fun.
RJ was like, it's a trap.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah. Now, if anybody's watching, you guys don't know what's going on. We're friends. We all talk with each other outside of these round tables. It's not like we only come together for this and then that's our time to socialize. We're talking with each other all the time. You guys have your own friends that you have things in common with. We have things in common. We talk, which we also have an amazing Discord that was originally established by Generation Crypto, and he's done an incredible job assembling it together. And just recently, we revamped that Discord, so it's now much more easy to navigate. I think it looks a little bit more sleek and clean, and it's definitely a great place where if you want to have a safe space where you can go in and discuss various cryptocurrencies, guess what? You should go check out our Club Crypto. It's a name that's in the works. We haven't officially confirmed it, but let us know if you guys do like that name. It's a little bit easier to remember than the other one that we have. I already forgot the other one, to be completely real with you. But if one of you guys that's a mod inside of my live stream can go ahead and share the link when you get a chance so that people can go hop in.
I heard Tim is DJing Club Crypto.
All right, so here's the topic I want to talk with you guys is when we look at Strong Block has a big name in the node space. They're sort of one of the leading node projects that are out there. And then they recently made their change over for Stronger. And there's a series of things that are still yet to come. But we see pretty frequently now them posting on their social media for Twitter, celebrating hitting a new milestone for the number of nodes. And for people that are watching the stream, if you don't know what nodes are, RJ, if you don't mind, can you give us just a brief explanation of what these node projects basically do?
Sure. So you have two types of node projects. You have actual endpoints like what Strongblock has, and then you have what other people are kind of coattailing on nodes, but you're not really physically building nodes as endpoints, or more as DeFi as a service, DAS versus NAS. And so if you're looking at Strongblock, they are truly a node as a service. They're kind of like the first real movers in this space where they are building nodes for you on the Ethereum and Polygon side. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to get too deep into that, but the other nodes as a service, as you guys see, is not really nodes as a service. Make sure you guys do your own due diligence. Some of them are just purchasing nodes, but they're DeFi as a service, right?
I appreciate that rundown. And so what we're seeing here in this post is that they've hit 495,000 nodes. These nodes produce 0.1 of the token per day for the node holder. So that means in order to make one full token a day and your earnings, you're going to need to have 10 of these. So we're seeing a lot of tokens that are coming onto the market, and this is definitely something that's been reflective in the price for the project, even though it's been moved over from strong to stronger. So kind of the big question that I have for everyone on the panel here, and we'll go ahead and start with you, Generation Crypto, is at what point is it too much? How do we actually try and use this model but make it sustainable long term? And are you already seeing things taking place that you like and you think that that has some possibility, or is there something else that you would like to see instead?
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, you just need to have your supply. Let me back this up. It doesn't really matter how many nodes are made and how many rewards are paid out, so long as there's enough utility involved with those tokens that are being developed that people want to hold those in place of selling them off for something else. So that could be done in multiple ways. That could be done with limitations in the system itself that prevent people from selling them off and causing a lot of sell pressure, or it could be used in ways that they could take those tokens and do something else with them. Examples of that would be staking for other types of rewards. Like, hey, you know what? I'm going to stake these tokens, and in place of, just selling them on the market, I'm now able to stake them over here that provides liquidity for this other ecosystem, and then I'm going to get paid in Tether or some other token or project or more tokens so that I can get rewards that way. And that would be a way to take sell pressure off, because instead of saying, hey, I have these tokens that I could sell for, I can now take these tokens, instead of selling them, put them over here, and they're going to earn me in other ways in this other aspect. Or I could use them for some other service or utility. And that would, of course, take away sell pressure. And so the more utilities and options that you have on that side, the less sell pressure you're going to have. And then therefore, the larger your threshold becomes for having nodes. So I don't think there's an arbitrary number for how many nodes or how many tokens can be paid out, but it's more of finding that balancing act of making sure there's enough utility on the one side for the nodes and tokens that you're creating on the other.
And Moonboy, I'm going to go ahead and go to you next. As far as for node projects, do you love it? Do you hate it? And why?
Well, 99% of the entirety of DeFi is run on Ponzi-nomics. This is reflection tokens, nodes, whatever you want to talk about. There's no outside money coming in, zero outside of new investors or current investors buying BEPs. That's for every single one of these tokens that have any kind of reward model. The only money coming in is from investors. I feel like Strong has a good infrastructure to make their own money with their own products and services and their blockchain. So just because they're run on this Ponzi-nomics concept doesn't mean it's a Ponzi scheme. Ponzi-nomics and a Ponzi scheme are two different things. They've taken the model of the money in and out to pay out people, but it doesn't mean that they can't change things in the future, like what Strong is trying to attempt to do with their Strong chain. Now, the question in regards to if I like nodes, yeah, I mean, I think they're great. When it comes to these trends of DeFi that we've all experienced, the reflection tokens, the nodes, the auto stakers, now we have BNB miners popping up. For me, nodes were the most fun out of them. And I know it's funny to say money, but you're calling it fun. Yeah, there's a fun element here with the compounding. You're making more nodes. The more nodes you have, the more rewards you get, which means you can make nodes faster. It's a bit of a game. It is a fun little game. So nodes for me were very fun, and I'm still very invested in Strong. Invested in things like Project X. I'm a big fan of what the team's attempting to do over there. They're still quite new in regards to how long Strong has been in the market. But right now the big issue with every single node project is, where do you get new money from? Like, you cannot continue to rely on just investors and buys and sells. Like, there needs to be something else that's going to be organic, that's not going to be holders, that's going to be a true sustainable model. And it looks like you're gonna maybe need your own blockchain to pull that off. You're gonna need, for example, Strong, they now have nodes as a service. They want to get into the blockchain as a service, which they can utilize their products and services to help other blockchains, to help their security, their infrastructure a bit better. And I guess they would maybe pay Strong a fee. I don't know where the money would come from by providing that service. But outside of Strong, I don't see anyone else that's going to be here in the very long term. I don't. Project X, maybe they also mentioned their own blockchain called X Chain. We haven't heard much about that, but again, they're only 2 months old. So it looks like for nodes to survive, you're going to need most likely your own blockchain, which obviously you can build smart contracts and you can charge your own fees. The native token can be used to cover gas. So that's going to be more utility, and that's going to be more money coming in to keep the rewards sustainable. But Strong, out of all of them, they have this number of wanting to hit 1 million nodes. That's their number. They want to get to 1 million. And that has been their number since inception. They said, we want to hit 1 million. There's no way they don't have some kind of infrastructure in place on paper that they've said, okay, we can hit 1 million nodes, still pay people out, and make this thing run for the next number of years. There has to be details there that they have not disclosed. There has to be. And they've said in the AMAs, guys, we're going to tell you what we can tell you, but we have competitors on the market. Thus, we're not going to reveal everything due to we don't want people to copy us and beat us to our own ideas. So they have left things off the table before letting us know the entire picture, which is fine. They give us little pieces, little snippets. We get the general idea, but those details we are missing. But the team has a great track record. Incredible, incredible, incredible. Someone was actually questioning them earlier on Twitter. And the person's reply was that, look at EOS. EOS is still over a $4 billion market cap, sitting at number 42 of all cryptos. This team behind Strong literally was behind the development of the EOS blockchain. Since that blockchain came to market, EOS has never fell out of the top 100. Never. This is that team making their own token with the experience they have. Obviously, we're in 2022 with new ideas, with new concepts. I don't see how it's going to feel. I know people are upset about the price. The price is the price. We're in crypto. Hey, check it out, is what it is. Things are going to go down. Things will go back up. It's about chilling. And unfortunately, having a node, you can't do nothing but chill, right? So it is what it is. But yeah, that's me.
Bullish.
RJ, I'm going to go ahead and go to you next on this. I'm going to keep it very open for you to freely actually discuss what you would like to. But what are your overall thoughts about node projects?
I'm just going to echo what Moonboy says. I do not see a lot of these node projects surviving in this distant future, not so distant future. Strongblock will separate themselves from the other node projects because they are addressing it by bringing in a source of revenue, which will come inherently with the blockchain. I think once they have their own blockchain, I think we're going to see some crazy things happening with Strongblock. And I've told everyone this in terms of like investing psychology, right? It's always easy for everyone to be singing Kumbaya and everyone like cheering and everyone's super stoked. When we're on a bull market, everyone's collecting that dough, everyone's printing money, but it's very difficult to be in a bear market. You know, when it's a bull market and Strongblock was like $600, $700 a token, everyone was like, man, I wish I got in when it was so much cheaper. It's cheaper right now. Where's everyone at? Everyone's scared, right? It's not easy to be in a bear market and stack nodes or compound. Everyone just kind of wants to take profits or kind of scared. They don't know where it's going to go. But I've said this so many times. I've been pretty consistent in my channel the entire time. Millionaires and wealth is born on bear markets, on down markets like this, where there's a lot of fear and people don't know what's going on. That's a time to stack up. That's a time to load up the truck. Not financial advice. It's just how Warren Buffett kind of teaches you in his value style investing. So that's what I think. I think not a lot of node projects will survive eventually, right? It's going to pay out nicely in the beginning, but it's not going to survive. Strong block is going to separate itself with strong blockchain. With strong chain, and it's kind of going to go from there.
Sorry, I want to add a point as well. RJ Shirt, Chronos Nodes, that project has been in development for about 4 months now.
Yeah, very bullish.
These people understand that nodes alone is not enough.
Correct.
They are working on anything and everything, their own swap. They're working on their own yield farming. They have their own staking platform. Obviously, the nodes as a service and how the nodes pay out is a little different than other node systems. Based off of if you want to claim on a daily basis, you're going to pay a higher tax versus waiting for the 5 days. They've literally waited and kept everyone on their tips and toes about when, but they're like, you know what, we're going to perfect everything first. Because typically you see tokens drop and then they're like, okay, how do we do the utility thing? What are we going to do? Chronos nodes, that shirt up there, they're saying, we want to be sustainable day one with utility in place day one. A lot of this headache that we see when it comes to sell pressure, lack of utility, that's not going to exist with this project up here. I'm bullish as well. I love it. I follow their everything, Discord, Twitter. I'm looking at them every single day because I don't know if it's going to be a fair launch or they're actually going to drop a date. But I've never seen a node project out of the dozens that I purchased that wants to have everything on the table first. So if there's any project second to strong, it is this one. It is not even live yet.
I agree.
And Tim, as far as for nodes, what do you think about them? Do you like them? And is there any issues that you see with it and you have an idea of what they could possibly do to fix it? Or that you just think really needs to be focused because there's obviously a lot of node projects coming up right now?
Well, if I knew how to fix their problem, I wouldn't tell them. I would let them hire me so they could pay me how to fix their problem. The problem with any project that pays out rewards is if they don't have a utility to them, there's no use for them. And if they don't get more people to come into that project, then there's no way they could pay out rewards, right? So the big thing is utility. So what Chronos Nodes is doing, what a mouthful that name is. Because there is a Chronodes, why would they do Chronos Nodes? I mean, Jesus, guys. Anyway, with that project, they saw that there needed to be utility, and that's one of the cool things that I like about their project is they're like, yeah, well, we're going to launch, but we're not going to launch without utility because that's how things crash and burn, right? And that's the project. That's the problem with a lot of DeFi projects. They make a token, they say, oh, you know, we're this awesome thing, and they have no utility for them, and then after a time they fade out, and they don't even have any plans to do so. So it's the projects that are saying, look, we're going to build utility, we're going to have a purpose behind what we're building, and the blockchain is a big thing. You know, once people get into these projects, they're just like, oh crap, how do we make money? We need a blockchain. What are we going to do with that blockchain? Okay, once we get that blockchain, then we're going to need to find partners for that blockchain. So they're going to need a bunch of things, and I do like node projects, but if they're thought out well, if they're not, you could lose a lot of money really quick. I lost money on a node project. I mean, I was stupid for investing in it, but I was like to the moon with this one, you know.
Is that Polar?
Huh? No, Polar's actually doing pretty good. It was
Polar's doing good.
Magia. It doesn't exist anymore.
We don't talk about Magia. We don't.
Well, you know what? It was one of those things. It had every sign not to invest in it, right?
It had a cool concept too. The whole leveling up design. I was like, that's cool.
I was like, this is the next Dogecoin in my head, you know? Like this
that's like saying Safe Moon Cash to the moon, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it was like one of those things. Is like I knew I didn't invest a lot into it, and when I did invest in it, I started taking it out, and the next morning I woke up and it was gone. Everything was gone. The dude burned it. It was like one of those Inspector Gadget notes. Like you only can read it, and then it just burst into flames. So yeah, it was one of those projects where you know, it's you hope it goes good and you hope you can sell in time. But I think I'm done with those from now on. I think I'm really just going to look at the projects and only invest in if they have utility or if they plan on giving utility, and if the people behind the project are good people. I think that could be said for any project, whether it's a node project, whether it's a reflectionary token, anything that, or a staking platform, anything that has a good people behind it, they have good utility behind it, I think has a good purpose. But if you're trying to get in it to get a moonshot, if that they call it, there's a pretty good chance you're not going to make it out alive. That I've learned. I mean, everyone wants that day where they wake up and, because we've seen it from time to time, right? You'll get a glitch on CoinMarketCap and your wallet will go to like $70 billion. And the first thing you're trying to do is sell it. You're just like, please God, let this really put $70 billion in my wallet. And then you realize that it's just a glitch and it goes away and you go back down to your $15 that you had invested and you're just like, really? But yeah, I mean, those moments, I think the way, once you figure out how to invest the right way, maybe in a good 10 years, you'll have a nice sized wallet rather than one of these moonshot projects that are crazy. So yes, I do like nodes, but be very cautious when you're investing in anything. Just always do your research. That's something that we always say. Because in all honesty, if you don't do your research, or even if you do your research, you might get burned. So just do that.
Yeah, the rug pull is always out there, guys. Like, it could always happen for so many different projects. It's not always the first week of launch or the first day. It could be 6 months later. It's 3 years later. Something happened in the back end. And that's part of the risk of investing, is when it's no longer in your hands and it's in somebody else's possession or it's in some other location, you're risking something happening to it there. If you really want to have things as secure as possible, you hold it yourself. But how do you let something grow if you can't let it go, right? So I think that something would be really cool with the advancing forward of, I'd say the advancement of node projects would be seeing hybrids. And I know a lot of projects, look at the reflectionary model just as an example. When we look at SafeMoon and its popularity, oh, look, I finally said the word SafeMoon. I'm sure there's some people in the chat, they're like, is he ever going to say anything? There you go. I said the word for today's podcast. You look at the model and it reflects in its own token. You saw a whole bunch of other projects that went out and did the same thing. But then next thing you know, we started to see things like Evergrow, where it gives you reflections in stablecoin. And you'll see some people take that stablecoin and either buy back the project whenever the price gets hit, or they'll go spend it on other things. But like, no matter what happens, its price isn't changing. That's why it's a stable coin. There's value that's there. So I think it would be really interesting to see how creative projects can be, sort of going again, sort of like from that reflection model of your own tokens to having a reflection in stablecoin.
Generation, mute your mic.
Oh my gosh, too much Taco Bell or something, man. So you have the possibility with BUSD rewards. You sound constipated. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so Moonboy,
I didn't know there was a sound to that. There's a sound to sounding constipated.
Pipes.
Yeah, it sounds like Generation's mic.
I thought it sounded kind of like
my
pipes.
mic makes a bunch of weird noises when I move it around.
You sound like you should be on one of those 1-900 hotlines, buddy. You know, I'll pay you $4.99 a minute to hear that voice.
Jeez. Okay.
Well, his mic's out right now, so, or not his mic, his camera's out.
So Moonboy, I posted the link. I don't know if you got that up on the side for the next article. If you don't mind, you got it ready to go. Feel free to go ahead and read through that, and then we'll go ahead and go over with the panel and see what everyone thinks.
Yep. IMF warns of rising cryptocurrency risks in emerging markets. A spike in cryptocurrency trading in emerging markets could
Imperil
the global financial system. The International Monetary Fund warned Tuesday in a report on global financial sustainability. Meanwhile, the war in Ukraine is revealing the risk of crypto payment system the IMF found. You want me to read the entire thing?
If you want, I could read it all. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Repercussions of the Russian invasion of Ukraine and ensuing sanctions continue to reverberate globally and will test the resilience of the financial system through various channels, including acceleration of what the heck is that word? Cryptoization In emerging markets, direct and indirect exposures of banks and non-banks and possible cyber-related events, the international body said in the report. The IMF highlights the increased use of cryptocurrencies in emerging markets since the start of the pandemic, noting that trading volumes of crypto assets against some emerging market currencies have spiked since the West sanctioned Russia. Tether, the largest stablecoin used to settle spot and derivative trades, has seen a spike in trading volumes against emerging market currencies. That spike is particularly notable in Turkey, where exchange rate volatility has been high and the overall use of crypto assets has gained traction over the last few years. Although a large part of the uptick stems from speculative investors, a shift towards using crypto as a means of payment could create challenges for policymakers, says the IMF. The war in Ukraine has also shined the light on the risks of crypto payment systems, which by nature are decentralized. The lack of a centralized payment system makes it harder to track illicit activity for crypto and to enforce sanctions, especially as international payments have increased. The IMF warns cryptocurrency exchanges that don't comply with sanctions or properly monitor illegal activity could be used to circumvent sanctions. At the same time, they say the technology crypto uses increases the secrecy of transactions, allowing dealings to be covered up more easily. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen told the House Financial Systems Committee earlier this month that the U.S. is monitoring whether crypto is being used to evade sanctions, though she said the Treasury Department hasn't seen that kind of activity yet. Quote, "We are monitoring for any attempts to use crypto to evade our sanctions, and we have ample enforcement authority, which we won't hesitate to use," end quote, Yellen told the committee. Over time, the IMF warns that sanctioned countries like Russia could leverage crypto mining, the process by which new digital tokens are created, to raise revenue for country coffers. Mining for cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, which uses a lot of energy to mint, can allow countries to monetize their energy resources directly on blockchains and outside the financial system where the sanctions are implemented. The monthly average of all Bitcoin mining revenues last year was about $1.4 billion, 11% of which was captured by Russian miners, based on the IMF's analysis of data from the Cambridge Bitcoin Electricity Consumption Index. How to guard against crypto risks. To safeguard the financial system against risks from cryptocurrencies, the IMF recommends policymakers develop global standards for crypto assets, noting that stronger oversight of fintech firms and decentralized finance platforms is needed to mitigate their risks. The international body recommends policymakers develop coordinated regulations for crypto assets to manage capital flows, create international collaboration, address data gaps, and leverage technology. Regulators should also create a financial action task force to enforce standards to guard against illicit capital flows, the IMF said. The IMF's recommendations come as the Biden administration studies how to regulate cryptocurrencies. As part of the administration's approach, officials are speaking with international counterparts on crypto regulation. Lawmakers in both the House and the Senate have also put forth proposals for regulating stablecoins, though none have gained traction yet. So my question, and I'm going to go ahead and get this started by asking you, Moon Boy, is do you think that the governments should really have a say that much in how the cryptocurrencies are being traded? Because we see what's going on with Ukraine and Russia, and obviously to try and combat the value that Russia has and to be able for them to levy that essentially so that they can be able to pay for their military more, to get better weapons, to not have any instability with their own internal system. Do you think that we should have regulations in some way so that we can try and make sure the bad players get stopped? Or do you think that everything should just sort of handle on its own?
By design, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin specifically, is being used exactly how it was intended. Although it's being used by a country like Russia, who I don't think anyone is on Russia's side right now, the entire purpose of it was to be decentralized, was to not be governed by anyone. That being said, there needs to be some regulation when it comes to scams and rug pulls and people taking money and running away with millions. I don't know how you do both of them because they both counteract what each other wants to be. there needs to be to keep the pure essence of what cryptocurrency was designed to do, which is take the money out of the financial institutions, the bigger bodies, savings accounts, checkings accounts, give it back to the people so that they can be in control of their own funding. On paper, that will cripple all banks. That is against the banking system, and therefore, why would you ever put your money or leave your money in a bank when you can do so in a crypto wallet and just keep it in USDT? You can take loans, you can take potential mortgages out in the future against your crypto as collateral. So there are potentials there for crypto and these exchanges to mimic exactly what a bank is also designed to do. When that does come to fruition, I feel like the government is going to have a crossroads, right? We're not going to never get rid of banks, and I don't think everyone 100% will cross over to crypto. So there's always going to be a utility for banks, but I don't know how you do both. I don't know how you keep crypto decentralized and in the hands of the people, but also give power to the government and have them create laws around crypto to also protect people and to hinder countries like Russia using it for their advantage during things like war. The sanctions were in place for specific purposes to prevent them from moving how they moved previously, making their lives difficult. Bitcoin makes things easier because no one's controlling them moving that money. So, but then again, although it's being used by people who are trying to do things that are not agreed on by the majority of the world, it still is what crypto is designed to do. Anyone can use it. It's peer to peer. You don't need any third party people involved in any transaction. It's you to the person, right? That's the design of it. So, yeah, I don't know if there's a way to regulate, I guess, a section of crypto, namely DeFi. Bitcoin can be Bitcoin. The other coins can be just used as a peer-to-peer transaction currency. But DeFi specifically, I feel like that's where regulation needs to start. Now, how do you regulate one section of crypto but not regulate all of crypto? I don't know. That's very specific. But there needs to be a meeting of both, and there needs to be an understanding that you need Bitcoin and cryptocurrency to stay as it was intended, but preventing people from getting wrecked and people obviously running away with millions of dollars, Squid Games, Earn Hub, all these tokens that just get exploited, or people launch a token, didn't have good intentions from the start. You can't just run away with $100 million and just be cool. There needs to be consequences there.
RJ, I'm going to go to you next. So as we see these regulations kind of starting to roll out, where do you think the future of this is going to be, say, in the next 3 years?
Yeah. So I'm going to circle back to my answer earlier, right? Where we just don't know. Like, crypto is just so fast moving that it's insanity to even think about. My friends and I here locally, we talk about this all the time, just how different life was in December. Strong was doing crazy things. It was like $600, $500. And we're like, all about nodes, right? And then all of a sudden the meta started shifting. You're learning so much in the space, and crypto just moves so damn fast that you just don't know where it's going to go. Like I said, I do foresee, unfortunately, regulations as governments start to step in, trying to get their piece into this, because they know that it can't be stopped, right? You can try and head down the route of like China, where they kind of just ban it all together, but we know it's not gonna work. So I feel like we are headed towards regulations, hopefully later rather than sooner. That's my point of view on that.
Tim, my question for you is that when you think about how much the world is against a country like Russia, and it's most notably specific people from Russia, let's kind of be real, it's not every single person, but just the overall sentiment of what's going on there, are you pro being on more regulatory side of just kind of removing the capabilities of allowing the transfer of crypto to the entire country as a whole? Because all it takes is for one little pathway to go in, and then they manipulate that pathway to be able to take those funds and do other things.
So let's just look at regular currency. I mean, let's take cryptocurrency out of it for a second. I mean, how many bad things have been happening with regular currency and going through channels that it shouldn't have been going, and it's been going through that way forever, because that's just the way it's been. So, I mean, trying to control cryptocurrency is going to be just as difficult as it is trying to control regular currency from moving in the wrong places and going into the wrong things. Because there's a lot of bad stuff that happens in this world. And right now, most paper money goes to it. Fiat goes towards stuff like that. And obviously there was a time, and there is times that people are still using cryptocurrency to do bad things. They're holding cities hostage with all their information, right? And they're saying, pay me in cryptocurrency, thinking they can get away with it. So it's one of those things. It's like, it's going to come down to regulations. Can they regulate that? I don't know. I mean, it's a really hard question, I guess, what you're asking. I mean, I guess if I was president, I might be able to spend enough time to figure out the answer to this one, but I'm not yet. Vote for Tim. But I think the biggest thing to understand is it's not going to be once the banks get on board, this crypto space is going to change, right? They're not going to let it be the same way that it is now, because the banks own the politicians. I hate to say it, and the politicians make the laws, and the laws control the people. So as much as DeFi is the wild, wild west right now, we're all riding around on our horses, firing off our guns, saying, let's buy this project, let's get that, woohoo! Soon that's going to end. Everything that we're going to be doing in this space, the government's going to be like, nah. Mm-mm. And a lot of projects are going to go away, right? It's the projects that took the time to really build utility and get through all the regulations and follow all the things that are going on are the ones that are going to stay. And I read a lot of articles on blockchains. There are a lot of blockchains. There's going to be only a select few of universal blockchains that a lot of countries and places are going to use for utility. So they said a wide variety. So we're talking about Chronos nodes and Strong coming out with their own blockchain. There was another node project that I was part of, was Vapor Nodes. They're coming out with their own blockchain. All these companies, Project X, coming out with their own blockchain. All these companies are coming out with their own blockchain, right? So when, right now we're looking into what we're dealing with right now is everyone's coming out with a token on a blockchain. Now all these companies are now coming out with their own blockchain. It's those blockchains, they're going to narrow themselves down, and then they're going to be adopted by the banks. And then they're going to set in the regulations. So getting back to Russia, they are finding ways that you can control the movement of funds, right? So you could start blacklisting wallets and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to see any type of money used in the wrong way for the wrong thing. But you don't want to hurt people from being able to use technology because of a couple bad players out there. So...
Drew, going back to the article, there's one section here that says, over time, the IMF warns that sanctioned countries like Russia could leverage crypto mining, the process by which new digital tokens are created. And then goes on to say that it's also, I believe it said that it was costly. Anyway, so my point is, what are your overall thoughts with that? The whole proof of work design model. Do you think that because of the fact that you can have a miner in Russia, how do you kind of stop that? How do you really identify that even comes out of there? You could mine those Bitcoin and then take a cold storage wallet, for example, and if you can get into another country that allows for trading and you have some sort of communication there, handoff, transfer of fiat, etc., do you think that fundamentally that we could see the death from a regulation standpoint in the future of proof of work design models, or do you think it can still have its weight and hold its position?
So Bitcoin is
No.
so Bitcoin is obviously proof of work, and it's not going to be changing anytime soon. So that's going to be around as long as Bitcoins are going to be able to be mined until there's no more Bitcoin to mine when it hits that time frame, which is several years from now. So it's not going anywhere. Obviously, newer projects are not being developed as proof of work systems. They're all being developed as proof of stake or some other variation of proof of stake. So that won't be an issue for newer projects. But Bitcoin specifically, it's going to be an issue as long as Bitcoin is mineable. It's going to continue to be mined. That's just how Bitcoin's going to work. When it comes to regulations that we've been kind of talking about, there's a difference between regulations and restrictions. So people can regulate the space and say, okay, this is how things are going to work in our country. This is the legality versus the illegality. If you create a token and you dump on people or you commit fraud, there's going to be legal consequences for that. There's going to be certain actions that government bodies will take to make people whole or whatever they need to do to alleviate or fix that problem that's occurring in that space. You want to start a project, you need to go through these certain regulatory bodies in order to make it legal. As far as restrictions go, I think that's where I kind of think that it's a bad place to go. I don't think that it's a good thing that governments can be able to restrict who can get a hold of which cryptocurrencies and when. Obviously, there's governments out there that don't have their people's best intentions in mind. We've seen that throughout all of history. And a lot of times it's within their own citizenships. It's not just other foreign countries, it's their own citizens. Maybe they coincide with the political party that they disagree with, or a certain political movement, or a specific ethnic group, or a specific religious group, or all these different variables that go into play historically that have been poorly treated by government bodies, and the government bodies that misappropriate and misuse their authority. Crypto is there and was designed and was appealing to early adopters because it took away that power from governments over their own people. So yes, countries like Russia are going to misuse funds, and obviously we don't want to see Russia doing this to Ukraine and using crypto in that form and fashion. But that doesn't mean that because they are bad actors in the space that we then say, well, because a government decided to be a bad actor, which was the issue to begin with, we're then going to make the people who suffer at the hands of government not be able to use their crypto or give government more power over the people, as is the current system with fiat.
Appreciate it, Drew. RJ, I sent over an article. I don't know if you saw that. Would you be able to read that next one?
Yeah, 1 second.
Sure. While you're pulling that up, thank you again, everybody that is popping into the stream. I know we took last week off. A lot of things have been going on, obviously, in the crypto space, things with SafeMoon, etc. But I hope you guys are enjoying the style that we are doing this week. It's something that I came up with here for an idea, kind of reading through the news articles and then having talking points after we go over those. Keeps things a little bit relevant, but let us know what you guys think about this. And if you guys could respond with that inside the chat, that'd be great. And especially if you haven't yet done so, please do not forget to hit the thumbs up like button. You may not realize that, but it helps out with the engagement. It's more likely for the stream to be discovered by other people. And if you support any of our channels, then it's also greatly appreciated that you continue to show support for them. These awesome content creators continue to keep making content, even with everything that's been going on with the market and with people attacking them personally and different avenues and all that kind of stuff. So all of their channels, there's links down in the description below.
Cool. I'll go ahead and read this. Atlas, do we make sure we have enough time for your game too?
Yeah, we will. I've been keeping an eye on the time.
There's
Awesome.
a game.
I made a game.
Oh,
It's different
okay.
than yours.
Oh, by the way, don't ask me to read anything. I'm dyslexic, and it'll be the worst time. Everyone, don't ever. Just let you know. All right.
Hey, RJ.
Go ahead, RJ.
Oh, no. Hold on, RJ. Tim, can you read this?
No,
I'm just kidding.
no, I can't.
I'm just kidding.
I'm only
Go
on
ahead,
a
RJ.
13-inch screen.
Crypto gaming landlords upset they can't keep exploiting all the players quitting. Exploited players are rebelling against diminishing returns in the Pokemon-like NFT game Axie Infinity. Axie Infinity is the crypto-backed Pokemon clone in which cute little creatures that double as NFTs battle for fun and profit. It's also a pyramid scheme that relies on cheap labor from countries like the Philippines to fuel its growth. Now, fictional inflation combined with a historic crypto heist allegedly committed by North Korea have plunged the Axie economy into chaos, and its high rollers are freaking out as the ones below them bail on the scam. Like all things crypto, the story of Axie Infinity is at once very complicated and incredibly simple. Developed by Sky Mavis, the game revolves around collecting, breeding, and battling cartoon characters called Axies, which are NFTs that exist on the Ethereum blockchain. Players can use their Axies to farm a currency called Smooth Love Potion, which is used to breed and create more Axies. Both the Axies and SLP can be sold on the open market for real money. As Vice reports, the result is a highly financialized community fueled by the promise of future riches and predicted on a constant influx of new players. Many of those new players can't afford to buy Axies directly, so existing owners loan them out for cut of future earnings. The Axie community charitably calls the bosses managers, the workers scholars, and the overall arrangement a guild. Because many of the low-level players are poor workers from the Philippines and elsewhere, others call this arrangement digital colonialism. The whole thing is reminiscent of old school gold farming. In MMOs like World of Warcraft, as The Verge points out, it's also been profitable for Sky Mavis, but relies on keeping the dream of future growth alive since there's little of intrinsic worth in the game itself. The dream recently began to unravel thanks to the gameplay changes and SLP inflation, and then last month the game got hacked to the tune of over 600 million in one of the biggest crypto heists in history. Axie Infinity's fragile capitalist caste system has continued spiraling ever since. The Axie Affinity dev mentions are full of digital landlords generation. The Axie Infinity dev are full of digital landlords pissed that their scholars, Filipino employees being paid in game script, are all quitting the game and no showing their weekly quotas. YouTuber Dan Olson tweeted on April 12th, as noted by Games Radar, a quick search of Twitter and Reddit shows players complaining about the state of the game and lack of cheap labor to sustain the investment. A busy day at work finally ends, and it's nice to see SLP going up slowly, wrote one. But then I had a few scholars quit on me last week, so time to look for new Axie scholars again, I guess. I had a fish farm and a plant farm and 10 scholars, wrote another. They have almost all quit. My Axies are worth 10% of what they cost me to breed. I learned a lot in Axie. Damn, this is a long read.
Yeah,
Alex.
I'll go ahead and take over for this next part to give you a little bit of a break. But, there's a lot behind this. And this is one of those things, guys, where this is published by Kotaku. Kotaku covers a lot of gaming type things. And this $600 million hack obviously creates a big line of dialogue and conversation starters. And for projects, or companies, I should rather say, that cover things in the realm of news, it's one that they're going to latch onto because that's where traffic is coming in. They did say that as a pyramid scheme, we hear that all the time in lots of different crypto products. You heard it with Bitcoin, you heard it with SafeMoon, you heard it with Ethereum, right? This is a game, and they are elaborating a lot more details and the specifics behind what's going on, but obviously there's a lot that's entailed here, and they're obviously also sharing their own opinion on this. So I'll go ahead and continue reading on. Axie Infinity is, among other things, a live service game, and it turns out even the crypto bros have as much trouble balancing resources, economies, and character progressions as everyone else. The proliferation of Axies led to the farming of more SLP, and as a result, the value of SLP started to tank. Currently, the only thing that removes SLP from the game is breeding Axies. To address this, Sky Mavis removed SLP farming from adventure mode in February, but instead of the supply of SLP contracting, it continued to go up. Players are now calling for new ways to burn SLP and stop runaway inflation. The implementation of player-owned in-game land, also referred to as Project K, has been another big sore spot. Sky Mavis began selling parcels years ago, but the gameplay mechanic is still under construction, and the developer announced more delays this week. Originally set to launch in early 2020, Project K was later pushed to 2021, and now still only has a generic release window of 2022. The people who bought land early basically locked up their assets in a zero return situation when there's a lot of other things that they could have done with that money. All because Sky Mavis kept telling us Q4 2021 was going to be the release date, and now they seem to be treating current landowners as an afterthought, wrote one player on the subreddit. Other players are now debating whether to get out or hold on to see if Axie Infinity's economy bounces back. Let's be real for a second. We are all here because of the earning potential, wrote one player. And to discuss this otherwise is wasting time. I'm holding all my Axies. I don't care if it hits zero, but I won't sell for those prices now. In the meantime, Sky Mavis is trying to patch the $600 million hole in its pocket left by hackers. According to the FBI, the North Korea-based Lazarus Group was responsible for the breach. The U.S. Treasury added the blockchain address where the funds were deposited to the North Korea sanctions list on Thursday, but Bloomberg reports the funds could take years to recover, if they're recovered at all. It's okay, though. A bunch of crypto and VC firms just announced they would give Sky Mavis another $150 million to help reimburse players and keep them from searching for a new grift. So I guess where we're kind of going at with this is that we have a very popular crypto game, Axie Infinity. just kind of a show of hands, if anyone has actually bought an Axie before, has kind of participated in the game. If you guys in the live stream chat have, just say like yes. And if you haven't, just say no. Just let us know you're even still here. But everyone that's on the panel, I'm going to go ahead and start by raising my hand. You guys are welcome to if you want to say. I did actually get in with Axie Infinities myself. If anyone else, or was it just me?
No, this is an interesting article.
So check this out. When crypto gaming, the whole NFT craze first started to emerge a couple years ago, we also saw not just the visual art, which are these little Axies that I was showing you guys right here, right? Oh, not that window. You can't really see that there. So these are the Axies. This is obviously a generic graphic of each of the creatures, but the actual NFTs themselves is just the creature by itself. And it's basically a PNG animal. And so you got these different attributes. And they're talking about how you can breed these things together. And so you'll have certain rare elements or these material parts that are part of their body. And if you breed it together, you only have a certain amount of times that you can really breed these, and then it's kind of done. So there's a resale value there about whether or not you've even tried breeding it with other animals. And then, as they mentioned in the very beginning, it's got almost a Pokemon sort of style vibe. You could actually do battles. So when the game first came out, I went in, I got a couple. And I got some that the last time that I looked at it about a year ago, I was like, whoa, okay, this is worth, at the time, it was like $500 or something. Just because of the mint number, it was still pretty new. Back then, you had a huge amount, and they touched on that inside of this article, a huge amount of these Axie Infinity NFTs that have been created. And as they've just sort of highlighted inside of this article here, things have been running a bit rampant. You keep producing more and more and more. So similar to what we were talking about with the node projects earlier, you're seeing that, but with these digital NFTs. And the biggest value that's here is that it's a game. People that are buying these things can use them already through various activities, battling against other players. They're talking about the land thing that's been trying to get developed and all that. So I guess as far as for a conversation from you guys, seeing something like this take such a massive hit, $600 million in its hack, but the key thing is that even with that large amount of money that's gone, other investors came in and they're showing support, $150 million. Does this kind of a project still have potential? Does it have a future? What do you think about that? And let's go and start with Moonboy.
Of course it does. I can name a project that got hacked and is doing fine. Ethereum. Ethereum got hacked. Ethereum got exploited. They're number two. A hack or someone being exploited for a backdoor in their contract doesn't mean the end of the project. There's always ways to come back. I mean, as long as it was in the core team who was involved in the exploit to drain those funds, then things happen. I mean, there's no handbook on how to be a crypto developer. What I understand is that the people, talk to other people, they pick up information, they do a couple of things, and they try to practice and pick up their own skills. But there's no how to be a blockchain class you can take in university, right? So it's very difficult to execute these things and get it right day one and have zero issues. Now, Axie Infinity itself, great concept, incredible potential. What I hate is the gameplay. Now, I've never played Axie, but I've watched Axie videos. It's literally like I'm playing Super Nintendo. Like it's those kind of graphics with just very minuscule amount of moving. You have the characters that are in a 2D frame, and they're just like going back and forth, slapping each other. You can add a lot more cool, maybe Unreal Engine graphics to that. Give it some 4D, give it some really cool style to it. When it comes to video games these days, open world is very popular. One game that comes to mind, what is that? It's like a Zelda game.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. My God, beautiful landscape, roaming everywhere. The attention to detail up to the grass, to the clouds, incredible, right? That technology exists, but no crypto project has integrated those types of graphics, those types of aesthetics, which is what the appeal is of gaming these days. No one wants to play this 2D, these little muffin-looking things. They're just slapping each other back and forth, and I'm going to earn.
I want to slap muffins back and forth.
Okay, well, you can go ahead and slap muffins, and you can go ahead and support the project, man. They're gonna love you for that. You can cover it. They're gonna have a great time. But
Why do I feel
potential
like
there,
this is
right?
going to end up in the Urban Dictionary somehow?
Slapping
Slapping
Muffins.
Yeah.
Muffin slapping.
Muffin slapping
Little
or something.
muffins
I'm
running
sure
back and
it's
forth,
in there.
man. So, but
Sure
yeah,
it's in
The
there.
act of something. I don't know.
yeah. But I don't think an exploit is the end all for a project. If anything, projects that have been exploited but are still on the market and have made that comeback, I trust even more because the devs have understood how to go about coming back from losing hundreds of millions of dollars, or tens of millions of dollars. Most projects are going to say, "Hey, that sucked. I can't deal with it. Too much stress. Closing Twitter. I'm gone." Access still here. They're still working, and there's potential there. And the fact that they do have this 2D slapping model, there's a lot of room for them to upgrade and grow. There's tons of potential to upgrade those graphics and to make it far more appealing. I would play Axie if it was visually appealing. I might as well just jump on my Game Boy SP and just go play Pokemon. It's the same graphics. Like, come on. What are you doing, Axie? This is not 1994. So, but yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, I'm going to go to one more person on this, and then I have a fun crypto game, and then we're going to go to the community questions on this. So it's just for time's sake. I know it's quite a lengthy article, but I wanted you guys to also know what's going on in the news there. So Generation Crypto, I'm going to go to you on this one. I know you're kind of busy there, but I'm pulling you back. So just kind of asking you, what are your overall thoughts with everything that's going on with Axie? Do you think that they're going to be able to dig themselves out of this hole, or do you think it's only going to get deeper?
It's $600 million hole. It's a pretty big hole, but yeah, as long as they provide utility and if the game is something that people enjoy playing, people will continue to play the game regardless of what's going on with the back end. The issue is
slapping muffins.
People like muffin slapping, and they're going to keep slapping them muffins, right? So the project will continue on. But if the main appeal of the game was just the financial side behind it, and that was the main driver, then obviously it's going to have a hard time getting back on the horse or back on the muffin, right? But yeah, so that's just how it's going to be.
They have to make the muffins more secure, and then it'll be a more successful project.
Man.
Yeah, you got to keep hold of your muffins,
All right, so with that being said, we're going to go and roll into my crypto game. I know, Tim, you have established your own format. Mine is going to be a little bit different. So what's going to happen is we're going to have 2 rounds in each segment, and there's going to be 3 segments total where each segment, the points are actually going to double. So technically, you got a pretty good chance of pulling out a victory here in the end. So I'm going to give you guys one by one 2 different crypto projects, and you have to tell me which one that you think has done more in trading volume in the last 24 hours. So we're going to actually go ahead and start with RJ here. RJ, you think you're going to win this?
Listen, last time Tim hosted this, Tim, didn't you say I was 10 out of 10?
You were like, I don't know if you had a friggin' buddy helping you out or something.
The reason I say that is because I just want to retire, because I don't think I can ever do that again. So I'm probably going to come in last in this one. This is what's going to happen.
RJ has like Pool Coin Open or Coin Market Cap or something.
What are you talking? My hands are in my pockets.
Are you even wearing pants?
His girlfriend's over in the corner.
Well, to make it even more spicy, I guess we'll also set a timer. So you got about 5 seconds to make a choice between these, just so we make it even more legitimate. So,
Spicy.
And
Let's
everyone
go.
in the chat as well. So I'm not going to say right off the bat which one it is that these people got correct, but I will go over it fairly frequently for you guys after we finish one round. So in the chat, type which one of these 2 projects that you think had more trading volume, dollars, inside of the last 24 hours. We're not talking about the number of tokens, because that'd be absurd, some of these projects. So we're talking about dollars here. So RJ, I'm going to start with you. Which one do you think had more trading volume in the last 24 hours? Would that be ApeCoin or Dogecoin?
Dogecoin.
Okay. And now Generation Crypto. Which one do you think had more trading volume? Zilliqa?
Oh, I got a totally different set? Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm going to give you a different set.
Oh, that's not fair.
Zilliqa?
You guys can't be Googling.
Zilliqa or EOS?
EOS.
Ooh.
And Moonboy. Which one do you think had more trading volume? Tron or Dogecoin?
Dogecoin.
And Tim, up for you. Do you think that Sand had more trading volume, or do you think Dogecoin?
I never even heard of Sand, so I'm gonna say Dogcoin.
Okay. So the results of the first round, RJ, you were actually wrong. And so if I can remember which two I gave for you, it was Dogecoin. Actually, if you guys can remember when I mentioned it.
Dogecoin and Ape.
Dogecoin and Ape Coin. Okay, for you. So that was wrong. Ape Coin actually had more in trading volume. It had $768 million, whereas Dogecoin had $675 million. Generation Crypto, which were you two?
EOS and what was the other one?
Zilliqa.
Zilliqa, yeah, that's right.
And you said that you felt that EOS was bigger, and that is correct. EOS had $675 million,
I'm clapping.
whereas Zilliqa had $628 million. Moonboy, which were your two?
Dogecoin and Tron, and I said Tron.
You did not.
You did not say Tron. You did not say
Tron.
Tron. You got it
I said
wrong.
Tron. Hey, come on, guys. What are you doing?
You said, yeah, you're trying to make
take
up.
away my
No,
answer?
you were
Oh, that's not
wrong. You
right.
said Dogecoin. You said
no.
Doggy Coin.
I got that.
Yeah,
guys.
Tron actually had
The chat
more.
knows.
You
The
got
chat
that
knows
wrong.
what I said.
Tron
I
was
know.
$976 million, almost $977 million in the last day.
Can I get
Again,
half a point for
Dogecoin
that?
having $675 million. Tim, you said, which were your two? Sorry, can you remind me?
Sand and Doge. I don't know. Or is Sand a real project?
Sand is a great project.
Sand is a real project, yeah.
This isn't your game of fake projects.
Damn it.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I'm actually doing real stuff, man.
I thought he was giving me a fake project's volume versus a real
He's playing his own
project.
game over here.
And you said that Dogecoin, the doggy coin, was higher, and that was incorrect. Sand actually had more than Doge. Sand was at $690 million, whereas Dogecoin was $675 million.
I'm
So-
gonna
Good
say
start
that
for us,
Sand
Tim.
has to work on PR because I never even heard of him. So
And,
spit
you know,
out that water, RJ.
I was actually planning on doing it, but because of time, I know we're only 18 minutes left, and I still want to make sure we get to the community questions. I'm actually going to, instead of doing this 2 times, I just can remember now how long it takes us to do this sort of format for the future when we go to do this again. Which, by the way, if you guys want to do this game on your guys' channel or you want to modify it, whatever, you guys are more than welcome to. So as it is right now, Generation Crypto, you are in the lead. You have 1 point. RJ at 0, Moonboy at 0, and Tim at 0. So not off to a
Not good.
great start, you guys. So
Alice,
Tricked us.
can I ask you that same question for 2 coins?
you want to ask me?
Yeah.
Sure.
So we're gonna do 2 stable coins:
Okay.
Terra USD or Binance USD, which had the biggest trading volume last 24 hours.
Tara.
Terra. Okay. It's actually BUSD, my boy. Damn, you got it wrong. Oh.
Okay.
Generation Crypto with the big britches over there.
Now, am I
Damn,
actually playing with you guys, or was that just for a side fun thing? Because I
let's
thought me
not
as
say
the
that
host that it's not
terminology.
fair that I qualify for this. I don't think I should be able to win.
You can play if you. I mean, you already got one answer. You got it wrong, just like the rest of us. So you can
Yeah, I'm just going to knock myself out of the equation here. You can still ask me for fun if you want. But you know what? I'm actually going to go ahead. Once I give you the 2, I'll just straight up tell you guys which one it is that you got right or wrong. But I'll give it a couple seconds so that people can be able to write inside the chat here. So RJ, going back to you. Now we're going to the top 200. So this is from 100 to 200 in range. It's going to get a little bit more convoluted probably, because this is where things can get pretty volatile for just one reason or another. So the first one I'm going to give you is which one do you think had more? Do you think it was a project called Symbol XYM or Anchor?
I would say Anchor Protocol.
That is correct. Anchor had more. It was $39 million, whereas Symbol had $3.7 million.
You got the top 100 pulled up on a chart somewhere?
What are you talking about?
He's got
RJ
this big old
cheating,
screen at the top 200.
RJ, look at the charts, man.
It's like, I'm going to say Anchor Finance.
Get off the coin market cap.
Anchor Protocol,
RJ,
right?
I don't have market cap on.
Okay, Generation Crypto, you're up next. Which one do
Right.
you think had more volume in the last 24 hours? Do you think that it was Store J or Celsius?
Celsius.
That is incorrect.
Incorrect.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
according to this, it's saying Store J had $221 million in the last 24
Jesus.
hours.
Storage A. Oh.
Whereas
What is that?
Celsius,
Over Celsius?
yeah,
That's
that was for
storage
Store
coin.
J. Store J had $221 million according to CoinMarketCap in the last 24 hours of trading volume, whereas Celsius had $5.8 million in the last 24 hours. Remember, guys, we are not talking about market cap here. We're talking about strictly how much was traded in the last 24 hours. So that was incorrect. You get a 0. Moon Boy.
You suck.
Generation.
Okay,
Sure.
Moon Boy. Which one do you think has more here? Is it Golem, also known as GLM, or Ape NFT?
Never heard of any of those.
Who are you
God,
talking
what-
to?
Talking to Moon Boy.
I got like 5 seconds. I'm gonna say Gollum. I've never heard of it.
Really? Okay.
Right? Gollum.
That answer is incorrect.
Fuck.
And he just lost monetization.
Sorry.
That's what you
No, it's actually at the end of the stream, so it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
I think
It's
after
after
45
first
minutes,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Oh, really? Fuck.
Yeah.
Ape,
It doesn't
Ape,
matter.
Ape
Damn.
NFT
What
had
is it?
Ape NFT had $120 million in the last 24 hours, whereas Golem had $6.8 million.
Damn. But I do have half a point from the first one because I guessed Tron secondly, so that's half a point, right?
Nah, bro. You have flat 0 points.
Nah.
You have
nah,
0
nah. You
at the
guys can't do me
moment.
like that.
Let's see if
I-
Tim can pull this one off. But at the moment, RJ is in the lead because every round, remember, it's doubling in points. Generation, you had 1 in the first round. RJ, you got 1, so that's actually worth 2 points. So you're technically in the lead right now by 1 point. Tim,
Tim sucks.
I'm so disappointed.
Tim, which one has more in the last 24 hours?
I don't know. Who's gonna be a guess?
It just takes his L. 0.
Is it Digibyte,
Did you bite?
Oh.
Digibyte, or
I don't even care. It's Digibyte.
UMA?
Digibyte.
Ooh. No. Change your answer.
No, what's UMA?
No, change your answer.
Oh,
I'm
can't
a-
change it.
No,
He
no,
hasn't
change it.
been
Tim.
right on
Tim,
anything.
change it right now. Tim, change
And
it.
the answer is
Digibyte.
UMA.
I told you.
UMA.
You didn't listen.
UMA
He knew
had
my
6.
answer. He screwed me, man. He could have gave me the
I
points.
didn't. I
He
knew
knew I already
exactly what it
picked
was.
it.
You should have listened to me. And
You
then
and
now you
me?
lose. You have 0 like me.
Dude, we could rub our zeros together.
That's what we call
What?
touching muffins or bumping muffins, whatever it was called.
Touching muffin.
Dude, we should.
When you rub 2 zeros together, you're touching muffins, whatever.
I'm gonna look up.
Bumpin'
What was
muffins.
it? Punchin' muffins, right? If munchin a muffin punch is a project, I'm investing all my money into it right now.
Muffin munchin.
Muffin coin.
muffins.
Let's go.
Okay, yes,
Muffin
UMA.
punch.
UMA had $62.4 million in the last 24 hours. Digibyte had 23.9.
Wait. So that is half a point for me because I actually got that. It wasn't my question.
Nah,
but
bruh.
hey,
Nah,
come on.
bruh.
What do you mean, nah?
Hey, if that's the case, I guessed Archie's right
No, you
earlier.
didn't. You didn't get it right. I got it right.
We
You
should
guys are
all
rough,
have the
man.
same guess.
Yes, she did like a
Just
black sheep.
accept,
Look at
Moon
this.
Boy, you're at the bottom, just as the screen shows. It's
There
the
you
order.
go.
He's
so
And
salty.
elitist are on
He's
top,
so
and y'all are
salty.
on bottom.
I'm glad you
Can't
guys like
believe
this
it.
game.
Can't believe this.
All right, so going back to RJ, this is the final round. So the points
for it.
doubling once again. Instead of it being worth 2 points, this is now worth. You know what? Actually, I'm wondering if I should make it worth 3. Do you guys think I should make the third round worth 3 instead of 4?
Yeah, but if
Make
you
it
get it
worth
wrong,
3.
you lose all your points. So it's like Jeopardy.
What,
Nah.
double Jeopardy?
Well, we don't have any chance.
Nah, I won't do that.
because-
We're gonna make this
RJ
worth.
and Generation get it
because
right. Me and
him
Moon Boy are
and
just
Moon Boy-
straight up losers.
Because Tim and Moonboy just need to get it right for the win. I don't think so.
I'm gonna make this worth
I think
3
that's
points.
fair.
I'll make it worth
I like-
3 points.
All right,
Okay.
3 points
I
today.
made up this
If you
game
get it
like
wrong,
right
lose
before
your
we even
points,
started the
so.
stream, right, Chico? Yeah, he likes it. He's chill with it. He's cool. All right. So now for RJ, you're 2. Which one do you think had more trading volume in the last 24 hours? Is it Safe or Link?
Link.
No, change it, bro.
And the
Change it.
answer is
Bro, change it.
You got it right.
that is incorrect. Safe had
I
one.
told you to change it, bro. Where's my half a point? That's 2 times now.
No half a points for you. That
Dude,
half a
that's 2 times. RJ, I told you. You guys.
You're just gonna say to change it no matter what we say, though.
Fuck.
Dude, Moonboy, you're like that kid that would be in
I
taking
got
the
it twice.
SAT score, and you'll just fill in every bubble, and then you'd be like, "Look, I got one of them right. Like, give me a quarter of the points." It's like, how'd you get into Yale? It's like I scored a, whatever. So yeah.
Half a point
Anyways,
everything.
so Safe had $1.9 million in the last 24 hours, whereas Link had 1.2 million.
Oh, God. So
Generation
negligible.
Give me
Crypto.
all the-
All right. Generation Crypto. Which one had more in the last 24 hours? Was it Everscale or Decentralized Social?
Crap.
Generation, no, next one. Trust
The
me.
first option.
Okay.
The first option is Everscale. The second one is Decentralized Social.
Everscale. Let's go. with
That's
that.
not a real project.
The answer is
He forgot.
Everscale. It has
Yes! Told
12.1
you, Generation. I told you,
12?
bro. I told you to change it.
$12.1 million in the last 24 hours, whereas Decentralized Social has just shy of 2 million. So Generation
the game.
Crypto just acquired
He
3
wins.
points right there. And technically, yeah, there is no way he can lose now. However, we're still going to play the last 2 rounds with you, Moonboy, and with Tim for fun.
So you're gonna play with the
They're-
losers.
So
gonna
we're
see
going to
who's
see who
gonna
can come in
take us.
second. Let's see who
Yeah,
comes in second
and
here.
Second last.
Okay, so Moonboy, you're up, my friend. Question is, which one had more in the last 24 hours? Was it Sapphire or Lido DAO token?
Vito down. No, dude, change your answer.
Oh, where you at right now, Moonboy, huh? You don't know.
Vito
It has to be Sapphire.
Vito
DAOs are
food
dead.
token, whatever.
DAOs are dead. It has to be Sapphire. If it's not, I'm leaving. I'm gonna launch myself.
And the answer is
Launch it.
Launch him, just launch.
you are incorrect.
Damn it.
Oh, I told you to change your answer. Where's my half
Watch
a
him.
point?
Watch him out of here. Get him out of here.
Oh,
And he
dude,
gets
I'm so sorry, Joe. I didn't even see you there.
Oh,
I'm
you're
so
good, you're
sorry,
good, you're
man.
Joe, how long have you been sitting there?
I literally just got here.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You've
Come
been like
in.
sitting there for 20 minutes
Yeah,
waiting to
like,
come on.
yeah,
I've been
literally.
since the beginning of the stream. What happened?
Oh my gosh, no, we're
Joking,
nearing the end, man. Okay, so yeah, he got that wrong. That was not correct. Sapphire had $145,000 in the last 24 hours, whereas Lido DAO had $4.9 million.
I knew that.
0 points, Moonboy.
I
Where
get
you
my
at?
half a point. I get my half a point.
Okay. Oh, this is an oof right here. I'm assuming. Okay, this is gonna be a tough one because I'm gonna pressure this on Tim. Tim,
Since
you're gonna
it's a tough one, I get 6 points.
you're gonna hate me on this, man. Okay. Actually, no, I don't think this is gonna be fair because I think this is version 1. I was gonna say Safe Moon. I'm looking at it right now. Pretty sure
Do it.
that is. Yeah, that's definitely. Never mind. That's Safe Moon version 1 price. So that's not gonna be really relevant. Let's go with. Which one had more in the last 24 hours? Humanscape, with the abbreviation HUM, or BuySwap, BSW?
I'm all about buy. I'm all about buy swap.
And the answer is you are correct. That is correct. BuySwap had $88.9 million as opposed
At least you're on the board, Tim. Unlike Moonboy.
So
and
it
Humanscape
goes.
had 31.6 million.
So it goes. What's the order of the winners and losers?
So the order right now is Generation Crypto. You won with 4 points. Tim has 3. And RJ, you had 2. Moonboy struck out. He had
Look at his
0.
icon.
So yeah, he was
Sucks, man.
0
I got
for
half a
3.
point. I got like 3
Oh.
points. I should be on the leaderboard.
I literally
Nice.
accidentally removed you because I didn't see your logo and I thought like I was trying to get you added back in. Joe, you know
Bro.
what? Just for fun, I'll give you one as well. And if you guys don't mind, we can
Alright.
go just a couple minutes
One
over
more?
our
Let's
normal
go.
time, so we can go to these community questions. We'll kind of go through them pretty
we need to
quickly.
get some super chats as well.
We did get some more. Okay, great. Yeah. So if you guys don't mind, I want to go ahead and give Joe one for fun. Does that sound cool?
That's fine. Yeah, go for it.
All right.
for
So
fun.
Joe, you ready for this, man? You got to tell me which
One
one
for
of these
fun.
two
Hold on,
crypto
hold on, hold on.
projects had more trading volume in the last 24 hours.
All right.
Okay. So,
Let me my dice out. I'm gonna roll a dice on this one.
all right, let's go ahead and feel free to roll the dice because
I'm
this
gonna
one
roll
is
a
gonna be
dice.
it's gonna be extra spicy. I hope you like it
All right.
spicy. So, which one had more, Mobox, MOBOX, or Mines of Delarnia?
All right. 1, 2, 3. Mobox. 4, 5, 6. Mines of Narnia. 1. What was the first? Mobox.
You're going with Mobox?
I
Okay.
can always
100%.
use the
Lock-
box.
Lock it in.
The winner gets
And
B&B.
the answer is you are incorrect.
Yo,
Jeez.
no,
Mo-
the dice never fails.
You guys, this is
Damn,
crazy.
Joe,
Look at
you-
this.
You could have won a B&B, bro. You
I
lost.
got here. I have the same score as Moonboy. I just got
Dude,
here.
Yeah. Mobox. Get this, guys. Mobox had 92.
Moonboy.
Have you guys ever heard of these? I haven't ever heard of these. Mobox.
No.
Absolutely not.
This is
I don't know the
crazy. Mobox had
Zero idea.
$92.5 million. But remember, it's not the one that won.
Wow.
Mines of Delarnia, if I'm even pronouncing that correctly, had $178.5 million in the last 24 hours.
Jeez.
Jesus.
So congratulations to this game's winner, Generation Crypto.
Lucky.
Yeah.
And congratulations,
Lucky.
second place to RJ.
No,
Sorry,
I
second
finished
place,
second.
Tim. My bad. Sorry,
Yeah.
Tim, second place. RJ in third.
I don't think
And,
he got second place.
You guys get a participation reward. Not reward, award.
They get a
You get a participation
participation
award for Moon Boy and for Safe Moon Joe. Let's give them a round of applause, guys.
Consolation
All
prize.
right. So I
This
hope you
game's a
guys
rough
enjoyed
one.
that game.
Yeah.
I don't know what to name it. Maybe I'll name it like Bumpin' Muffins or something. So we got some donations going up. I'm not going to be able to pull them up on screen because the way I captured this is not normally how we do this. But I'm going to go ahead and read through these. I hope that my little like pop-out window for the chat is going to be able to show me them all. So the first donation is from DJ Go SF415 with a $2 donation. Thank you so much for that. Said, thoughts on Seifu, Racing Team, and Future Airlines. I'm going to leave the floor open for RJ on that one.
Why? What do you guys think about it?
I don't know.
I don't
Hold on.
really...
I saw the plane with the Seifu skin. Is that real or is that some kind of animation? What's going on there? They're not really coming out with an airline. It's ludicrous, right? Is that what they're doing?
I don't
wait.
know.
Why?
I don't know.
Don't know. That's crazy.
I mean, it looks. I mean, listen. Everything so far he's launched correctly, right? So it's silly to kind of question all of a sudden now that he's announced it that he's not going to do it. He's obviously has the racing team now. This is a fun fact. The racer we have for the British Touring Cup champion, he's the brother of the current champion of the F1 racing, or many champion. He's won like a lot. So it's kind of interesting. But it's pretty dope, guys. I mean, I think it's pretty fresh. I'll leave it at that.
Hey, I like that. I like that. That that like you guys have like a real like physical team. They're like, hey, there's a lot of people and stuff like that. I think it's really cool, and done in a short amount of time too. Seifu hasn't been around that long, right?
March 1st.
Yeah.
Kick
Not even
myself
2 months
out.
old.
I saw Seifu at $40 and I'm like, it's gonna be dead in a week, and here I am. Looking stupid. So dumb.
Still at a good price. I think it's
Over $200 is not a good price. You missed it.
No, it's still there.
You missed
We're
it,
still. It's not like it's still. It's not bad.
It's expensive, man.
So
What is it?
the next question that I have is thoughts on Zeus nodes. Do any of you guys own Zeus nodes?
I do not own Zeus nodes.
I had looked into the project. It's another one of those node projects that's trying to definitely get its foothold in there. I can't remember exactly all the details of their like back end. I've been looking at so many different node projects in general, but there's several that are kind of playing off of the Greek gods. Is Zeus a Greek god or is he a Roman god? I'm pretty sure he's Greek, right?
Zeus is Greek.
Yeah. So we're seeing a couple different projects like Prometheus. Prometheus is also doing things in the kind of spectrum of the Greek gods or Roman gods and having that theme. But other than that, I can't really remember off the top of my head with it. I just like to see all these new node projects coming in and having a potential opportunity of really reinventing and just sort of innovating, I should rather say, inside the space and finding new creative ways of how they can be able to do that and to try and make sure that it doesn't go rampant. So I actually have a little bit of an oopsie here. I got an oopsie, is that I'm trying to look at all the other super chats, and because I was using it through the YouTube side, not through the StreamYard, which we normally have, I kind of lost them. There's one that I can see when I scroll down in my chat, all of a sudden, everything that was previous disappeared, and it's only showing up to a certain point. So I'm looking inside my back, and I do apologize for you guys if I'm not going to be able to see your question this time. That was not intentional. It was a technical issue, but I do have one here. I see from P. I'm not going to say the full name because I'm pretty sure that's kind of a trolley type name. No offense, but I enjoy the crypto knowledge about other projects you guys share. I also understand that you guys can't talk about SafeMoon every roundtable, but it almost seems like you guys try to avoid SafeMoon at all costs now. Why is that?
I don't. I like SafeMoon, so I mean it's just other guys. You know, some people do, and some people want to talk about other projects. I'm cool with that, but I still talk about SafeMoon.
Whoever's hosting, they're in charge of what we talk about during that week. So it's going to vary a little bit week to week on who's hosting and if they want to cover specific aspects or not. So
I think.
Don't.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
don't think that I've put out my reason on YouTube. I made a tweet about it. For me, moving forward, I made a decision that I don't want to get to 20K subs, 40K subs, 50K subs, 100K subs, covering just one thing. It's just, how do I be a better YouTuber for me? So that's kind of my reason there. Obviously, the lack of all the stuff that is, lack of transparency, the lack of products, that's not the biggest deal in the world. It's kind of how SafeMoon has always been. The recent FUD is nothing that we haven't heard before. We all have our own reasons on how we want to run our channels. We have other reasons. We have more just, for me, like direct, I want to try to branch out to be a better YouTuber, crypto-wise, not just one specific project-wise. Because as you see, for me, the project doesn't have any news. What am I going to do videos on? I can cover a bunch of FUD, but do I become a FUD channel now? Is that what you guys want to see? So, we all just, we do what we think is best.
Yeah, I think that's well. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, Joe.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I think it was well said. I'm still doing SafeMoon videos. I still believe that there's a lot of potential that's there. I was just on the phone with someone yesterday. You talk about all the stuff that's been talked about. We're still waiting on delivery. I think I counted up to 11 or 12. I mean, I'm literally recounting fingers as I'm trying to get everything there. So you take one of those things, it sounds like an incredible form of delivery. We're just waiting on it, right? So of 11, 12 different things that are all sounding great, how soon are we to any one of those? Are we days away? Are we weeks, months? I don't really know. But a lot of this stuff sounds really exciting. And when I look at SafeMoon as a whole, they have a registered LLC. They have an established building. They got employees that are actually going in there. We have people going outside the space. Like Troy, he posts a video. He's like, hey, I'm here in front of the headquarters. It's real. You see those kinds of things. You find out about all these different licenses that they're applying for and all that kind of stuff. To me, everything that's going on in the negative space right now, it sucks. It is what it is. I'm not really bringing it up in this Twitter space. Not Twitter space. I'm not talking about it here because I'm the one hosting. And I mentioned this in my videos earlier today. I am dealing with stuff in my personal life that's already really stressing me out. And if people want to go watch CoffeeZilla's video, they can. I just got enough negativity of things that I'm already having to deal with on my own. And so I would rather be constructive with a space like this. As you guys hopefully watched most of this episode, if not, you can go watch the replay. And just sort of discussing a lot of the other things that are going on in the crypto space as a whole. What news is going on with this project, that project, what are our thoughts on all of that. So it's not like I'm trying to distance myself. I'm still doing videos on SafeMoon every day. But to just hammer into some of the stuff that's already been technically talked about like a year ago, to me, it's kind of an unnecessary thing. I see other people that are willing to address it, and they have a very like intelligent mindset. I have a big vote of confidence that they can be able to explain or disprove some of the things that's been talked about. I'm still waiting for certain responses on other things, and I don't want to do full speculations because we already have a huge mess on that aspect in its own. I'd rather wait until I get a little bit more information. I'm in a better place with myself mentally before I end up doing a video on something like that. And Joe, I know you were going to say something.
Yeah, well, two things. Number one, I gotta say it feels damn good to not have everything be about negativity on us. Am I right, fellas? Like, that arc sucked of everyone crapping on us, and now I think we're like over that hump. I mean, it was a crazy arc, no doubt in my mind. It was an absolutely insane arc, but I'm just so glad it's like it's there and we're here, you know. But with that said, listen, I want to say whether or not the fellow YouTubers decide to cover it safe or not, myself included. It's all up to us. It's our channel. It's what we decide to do. And I think that people are looking at it in the wrong perspective. Some of them, not everybody, a loud vocal minority. They're saying, hey, you didn't cover Safe Moon today, and that's not fair. How dare you? But the thing is, like, we have different opinions. We all have opinions, and the difference between us and the regular holder is we decide to hit record and upload to YouTube. It doesn't always have to always be Safe Moon. And if it is, that's fine too. I don't like this whole idea of you stood loyal to Safe Moon. No. Just because I decided to create content on the channel doesn't show any kind of loyalty. It just shows what I like to do. That's the huge like difference. And if someone says, hey, listen, I just don't want to feel like doing it anymore, there's nothing wrong with that. And I find there are so many people out there that are trying to like make teams and categorize people and say you're loyal and thanks for sticking by. And it's like, hey, listen, I appreciate that you enjoy that. I enjoy doing what I want to do, but ultimately, if I want to chase something up tomorrow, is that going to be a negative problem for you? And it is. Maybe create a YouTube channel about it. And I think that's something that a lot of the holders need to understand is the fact that everyone can create any video whenever they want to. Every channel is owned by not Safe Moon at all. And that's the great part about YouTube. It's owned by all of us, and we can create content on anything we want to. I'm not going to look down on my fellow YouTubers just because someone said, oh, you're with us, Safe Moon Joe, and these guys. No, I'm not playing that game. We just had an arc about that. I'm not involved in that because I don't like that stuff. It creates nothing but negativity, and that doesn't benefit nobody because nobody wants to be negative all the time. Nobody wants to attack everybody all the time. Eventually, CoffeeZilla's going to stop doing his videos. Eventually, it's going to be a new arc of FUD or whatever it is. And there'll be a next thing to move on to. But I just really want to throw that out there. Like I said, I just want to, show my support my fellow YouTubers, all my boys. I love these guys. These guys are great people. And whatever they do, whether it's tomorrow, it's a Safe Moon video, a Safa video, whatever it is, there's nothing wrong with that. And maybe look into it because you might find something that you might like as well.
Appreciate it, Joe. For those of you guys that are watching the live stream, if you did do a super chat earlier, again, I just wanted to remind you guys that things kind of got lost in the track because of a technical aspect. So you can actually raise up your question in the chat right now. I'll have us go for just a couple more minutes. But in the meantime, is there anything that's on your guys' minds that you want to talk about, something that you're really looking forward to for a certain project? You're like, oh man, this thing is coming up, or I'm really jacked about this crypto right now as a whole. I just got in and I think it's awesome. Anything like that?
BNB miners.
Which one?
BNB miners.
Yeah, that's starting to
really
come
cool.
up as a new meta also, along with the APY auto staking for sure. What I was gonna say was, I don't know if you guys caught my video, but I told Atlas and Generation this, but the new MetaMask mobile update now supports the Keystone wallet. So now you can literally go anywhere and have your hardware wallet. And as long as it supports Wallet Connect, you can connect it to MetaMask, and it's quite fire. I've been using it all day. Worth.
All right, I'm just giving it kind of, another minute or two here just to see if anyone did have any questions to ask us. They're welcome to do so. What about the rest of you guys? Is there any specific project you guys are really looking forward to seeing what they do next?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just waiting for things to launch, right? So I'm pretty excited by Safe Moon's stuff that's going to be coming out. And there's another company out of Utah I really like, Giddy. I can't wait until they launch their app. So I'm looking forward to them launching their stuff as well. It's like a staking app. It makes it a lot easier to stake. So they're the 2 projects that I'm really diving into, and I think that's Chronos nodes. Maybe I'll look into that, because if they're coming out with utility.
Oh yeah, bro. Listen, whatever Moonboy was saying earlier is straight on point, right? Chronos Nodes is such a huge project right now that they had to create a separate Discord and a separate Twitter for their decks that they're creating. Their decks alone is releasing so many different things like staking, like farming. They have that one feature, I forgot what it was like. God, it's off the top of my head, but they're also supporting cross chain already right off rip. This is just their decks, right? This isn't even their nodes as a service. Their nodes as a service will be a DeFi as a service, but also it'll have NFTs as well. Like, this is a crazy project. Like, I get this a lot. People are always like, "Dang, RJ, I wish you told me about this before you announced it." I'm telling you now, this is a project I'm gonna go pretty heavy on. Right? Not financial advice. I told you guys this before. I treat everyone as adults. So do your own freaking research, do your own due diligence if you like it as well. Just know that I'm going pretty heavy on Chronos nodes.
I'll say, as far as for me, Drip has been going through sort of like their update process for the last couple weeks, and we're supposed to be getting some more results than that this week, and hopefully things will get back on track. So I'm excited to see them getting back on track and just kind of seeing if the price ends up following it pretty well. The market will really dictate all of that, but it's kind of a waiting game to see, and I'm excited to see how that plays out, and hopefully it's good. Drew, I feel like you were going to say something earlier. I kept seeing your mouth. You're like, the rest of you guys saw that too?
Yeah, I was just going to say adapt with Affinity. I'm looking forward to the release of their app. So.
Well, that was quick. All right. Now, I do
There's
have
not much to it. That's it.
We'll go ahead and go to a couple questions. Again, I'll keep it pretty brief for you guys. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I had one person that asked, what is a BNB miner? What is that?
Well, I'm sure RJ might be able to elaborate a bit further, but I can give a quick summary. So these are new concepts in regards to how you can generate more passive income, right? It is not anything close to the traditional way of buying a node or getting rewards from reflections. You are putting your BNB in a contract to participate with the token and earn upwards of an 8% daily ROI. 8%. Now you might think 8%, that's unsustainable. There's a really cool concept in there. So you get up to 8% based off of how much you participate compounding. For example, if I were to claim every day, my 8% would actually drop from 8 to 7 to 6 to 5 to 4, eventually under 1% because I'm trying to take out too much out of the contract. Eventually, I'll be getting fractions of a percentage, which means my rewards at that point are nothing versus participating in the contract, compounding. So you are really forced to compound, which is putting money back into that rewards pool. And instead of trying to claim money every day, you claim once a week. There's a 6-1 strategy. So you will compound for 6 days and claim for 1 day. Compound for 6 days and claim for 1 day. Some people do a 27-day compound and 1 day claim. So you're essentially trying to either pay yourself once a week or once a month based off your bag size. So thus far, we do have tokens in the market that's been around for quite a few months who their community has followed this model and their rewards continue to grow because every time you compound, that goes back, obviously increasing your bag size, but their percentage in there that are taxed that goes back into the reward pool. And if you're doing that 6 times a week, tax is 15%. That's a lot of money going back into into the rewards pool. So I'm still looking up on it, but I think it's a cool concept. The reason why I call a BNB miner is because you are paid in BNB. You're not paid in the native token. So there's virtually zero sell pressure on the native token, but the purpose is not to try to sell the native token. You are earning BNB as money, and then you can go ahead and sell it. You can buy the tokens. It's awesome. So I'm not going to act like I know everything, but from what I can read off the white paper, really interesting concept. And thus far, other tokens that have done this, they've been on the market for months.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it, especially because especially you guys know who Bartertown is. He's from Drip. he went in pretty ham on a recent project, recent miner, and he showed his numbers, and he's making like 6,000 to 8,000 a day from it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so it's a legit thing. The contract and the project survives as long as everyone plays it correctly, right? Everyone has to the ratio, like Moonboy said, is 6-1. Compound 6 days, and then take profits on the 7th day. Compound 6 days, and as long as people keep doing that, the project will survive. The original BNB miner has been out for a long time now because it's been out. So as long as players continue to play by the rules, it'll survive.
There's one that's been out for 2 years. That's real. 2 years of people participating, doing the 6-1 strategy. Everyone's getting their rewards every single day, but not everyone is claiming every single day. You participate in a contract, and that's where the sustainability model is. You don't really need new money coming in because those compoundings are taxed, and that tax goes back into the rewards pool. Over the span of 6 days, 15% tax. I believe it's 7% goes back into the rewards, and 7 goes back into your own bag size. But it's working. So that's all I know.
I want to say thank you to XRP Shillbilly, who says, first time viewer subbed, liking the content, guys. I really do appreciate that. Yes, if you guys do enjoy the content, most of my content on my channel is of myself, but I have been doing a lot of interviews with various projects, their developers, for example, running some giveaways. If you guys are interested about that, I also do a lot of coverage on what's going on with SafeMoon. So I got a mixture of things. You're more than welcome to subscribe. But also, check out all my friends. We have these weekly roundtables. We get together. We've been doing it now. This is episode number 19. So you got 19 weeks there, but we actually took off last week. So it's been over the last 20 weeks or so. All of their channel links, there's links to that down in the description below. Chips PC Lounge with a 2, I think that's pound. I always forget if it's pound or euro. Shout out to RJ, Got Me in Drip, and Seifu Life Changed. And then I'll take one more question. So the last question we'll go back over here I saw was for Bryce. Somebody was asking if we could talk about Bryce. I don't actually know anything about Bryce. Do you guys?
B-Rise?
Or B-Rise? Do you
Yeah,
guys know anything?
they launched their blockchain about a month and a half ago. They launched in August, and they already have a blockchain. So that is incredible. Right now, they're actually pushing towards the beginning stages of their own exchange. So within, what is that, almost 8 months from August to this point, they have a functional wallet that does have staking, that does have NFTs right now, that does have several tokens listed where you can trade on there. You can hold your token assets in their Bitcoin, whatever else you want to hold, plus having their own blockchain. The launch of their blockchain sent them to the moon. I think it was 150% in that 124-hour day. And they've been pumping sporadically since the launch of the blockchain. So they're doing a lot of great things. They started out as a basic reflection token. You earn rewards in BNB. I think it's upwards of like 8% reflection based off of buys and sells. But I made a video quite a while ago, back in September, literally a month after they launched. And it was a meme video, but I called it like the Safe Moon Killer because it literally had Safe Moon's roadmap to the T. Everything SafeMoon wanted to do, they kind of mimicked, right? But they're dropping these things fast. They're going fast, and it's working. I believe right now they have, I think it's 7 tokens that have actually launched and are on their blockchain as smart contracts. It's doing very good. So BitRise is on the rise.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave the floor to the roundtable. If anyone has any final thoughts, feel free to go ahead and speak up.
I'm freezing. There's no heat in my basement. Call for help.
You're wearing a hoodie, and there's oh, you said there's no heat, so I guess you're cool. So yeah,
there's no heat down here. I mean, I have a wood burning stove, but it's not on. So,
Tim, how many cats do you have? You got 3, right?
We have 2, but my wife has been she's been courting one because she's going to steal it from the outside and try to bring it into the house. I don't know how that's going to go.
You take all your cats and you put them underneath your hoodie. And then you got like extra insulation, man. Especially, it'll be extra fun when you get that wild one outside. You're like trying to get him in the mix or her in the mix, you know?
Or you can just pee in a bottle and just take the pee and put it in your jacket for warmth. That works as well.
Or pour it over your head.
Yeah.
Record it.
Talking about
Post it on Twitter. Open an OnlyFans.
Spite heater.
No.
I guess you can do that too.
Plug it in the wall.
That's not as fun.
Instant heat.
Joe, that's too logical. Okay, we're not here for that.
Yeah,
I have the heater blowing on me, but
All
there's
right.
no insulation, so
You gotta have your pee.
Burn
on
your
you, bro.
chair.
You gotta have your pee on you. Pee is very warm. Have you guys felt pee? Have you ever peed on your hand? It's very warm.
Oh yeah, in
I
the
did it
shower.
twice, 2 times.
Try to catch a stream.
Yeah.
Are we still
Okay.
live? Are we talking about?
We're still
PM?
live. Yes, we're
Oh,
still
geez.
live. Great DeFi Guru. It's good to see you, man. Guys, be sure to check him out as well. He's been putting a lot of time and effort in, showing a lot of support for what's going on with the SafeMoon community as well. And he's more of a newer emerging content creator. We've known each other here on the panel now for months, but new people come in. If you guys want to make content on YouTube, go for it. We're for it. Like, we support you on that idea. Go for your dreams. Believe in yourself. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I know we kind of had a habit where everyone says their own little outro. I'm not going to do that this time. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. You guys are awesome. Again, if you want to check out their channels, there's a link down in the description below. Feel free to let us know on social media what you guys thought of today's format, if you'd like to see something like that again, which includes both the news sort of broadcasting element, going through the article, and then giving everyone's thoughts on that, as well as that fun, I thought it was a fun little game that we came up with. I came up with. It was me. It was all me. But if you guys like that game idea as well, let us know on social media. I'm on Twitter at CryptoAtlasYT. You can find, again, their links down in the description. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you next week. We'll keep you guys updated on social media, who will be hosting at that point in time. God bless. We'll see you in the next episode.